And then the two sets of players peel away. Let me run you through the teams before the match begins. Manchester City with Ederson, Kyle Walker, Fernandinho and Laporte in central defence, Joao Cancelo at left back, Rodri with Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan, then Phil Foden on the right, Raheem Sterling on the left and Gabriel Jesus through the middle. And the Real Madrid team tonight, of course, no Bale, no James Rodriguez, no Sergio Ramos, he's suspended. Remember, Benjamin Mendy suspended for Manchester City. Real Madrid have Courtois in goal, a back four of Carvajal, Militao, Varane and Ferland Mendy, Casemiro, Modric and Kroos in midfield, and Rodrigo, Benzema and Hazard. And the match begins. The second leg of this much anticipated Champions League round of 16 tie between Manchester City and Real Madrid is underway. Real Madrid kick off and the ball immediately finds its way back to Thibaut Courtois in the Real Madrid goal to our right. Real Madrid, who finished the season in grand style with 10 wins and a draw from their last 11 matches in La Liga, to win the title for the first time since 2017. So Real Madrid with the ball at the back. Here's Carvajal it was who conceded the penalty, you might remember, that resulted in Kevin De Bruyne's goal in the Bernabeu, 163 days ago. And still Real Madrid just knocking the ball around at the back, and they've barely got out of their defensive third. It's gone from right to left and now it's to right again, and Varane just rolling it back across here to the left hand side where Militao gets a touch, and then it's eventually chipped out to Carvajal on the right hand side, and still they turn and go back into the penalty area again. This is certainly a novel approach to start the match and indicates that they're going to be as patient as can be, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, no panic at all there, just playing it across the back four, getting Courtois involved as well, drawing City out, no rush whatsoever, just composed on the ball, finding their way.
Courtois now chipping it forward up the left hand side here. He's looking for Mendy. Kroos, though, drifted over his head and it's out of play, and Manchester City are going to get a touch of the ball.
You know what, I think when you play that slow and you are that patient, it gives the City on this occasion just that chance just to edge further forward, ready to set those traps. On that occasion it was Kyle Walker that just got to his man in time.
So Manchester City 0, Real Madrid 0. Walker takes the throw. De Bruyne pulls it down but sends the ball out towards the left hand side. I think he was expecting to see Raheem Sterling racing onto it. There was no one there and it just bounces out of play for a Real throw.
Yeah, when the ball was thrown into him by Kyle Walker, he knew that Jesus was out wide left, and as he looked to control the ball, Jesus had made a great run in that centre forward position straight across the D, but he played it out wide.
We're feeling it again, Dion, without the spectators.
Yes.
We've got the artificial crowd noise in our ears. You can probably hear that. But on a night like this, a match like this, the place, I'm sure, would be electric. Here, though, come Real Madrid with Eden Hazard, who's had such an injury-hit time in his first season as a Real Madrid player. But Zinedine Zidane was saying yesterday evening that he feels fit and confident again. Eden Hazard, who's scored just the one goal so far in a Real Madrid shirt. Ball headed away by Laporte on the edge of the area. Comes out to Gundogan. Gundogan prods the ball back, and then it bounces away behind off a Real foot for a goal kick to the home side, and Ederson walks across.
Yeah, it's plain to see that City are going to not change anything. They will wait for the right time when Madrid are passing that ball across the back four, getting the goalkeeper involved. They'll be patient and they'll wait for that bad pass in order to go pounce and get the ball back in the final third.
Pep Guardiola just wanders forward and then wanders back. He's gone light brown. Is that beige even?
Yes,
his sweater this evening.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Caramel, maybe?
Caramel, possibly. Fine knit sweater and darker brown trousers. Shaven-headed down there, looking a little anxious as Real Madrid come forward. It's Carvajal who's taken the ball forward, tries to find Benzema inside the penalty area, but Benzema slightly behind him. He tried to take it on, Real Madrid's top scorer this season, and it bounced off and City were able to clear it away. But a sign of danger there.
Yeah, Benzema trying to take that in his path. The ball was just behind him, but that's what City have to do. when Real Madrid come towards the back four, you have to get tighter and tighter, leave the spaces out wide, left and right. The two centre-halves got that absolutely spot on, Laporte and Fernandinho.
Ball must have just struck the referee there, and therefore he stopped play and dropped the ball.
Yeah.
So Manchester City have got the ball back in front of their own penalty area with their captain this evening, Fernandinho, who will get the ball back near the right corner of the box. Fernandinho coming back into the team in place of Eric Garcia, who's on the substitutes bench. We'll have to see what the future holds for him. But now it's back with Ederson, and now City are rather doing a Real Madrid and just keeping the ball themselves inside their defensive third. Ederson then hits one of his cleanly struck passes downfield, but Ferland Mendy, the Real Madrid left back, is able to take the ball on, control it, but then Real go back into their own half again. Toni Kroos back into central defence. Varane is quickly put under pressure by Phil Foden. That's the energy you were talking about, Dion, from Phil Foden, immediately trying to close him down, put him under pressure and unsettle him. But at the other end, City playing the ball back to their goalkeeper, Ederson, to our left.
Yeah, I've just got a feeling that if there is a mistake tonight, if there is a short pass, if there is that lapse in concentration, either side could pounce on it and get that first goal.
That's Dion Dublin with us on BBC Radio 5 Live tonight. Still 0-0 on the night. Manchester City leading 2-1 on aggregate. After this, in this competition, once they get to Lisbon, it is one-off matches. This will be the final round with two-leg ties this season. Great shame that, but it's the only way they could get it done. Two-leg football is always... Some of the best matches I think I've seen have been two-leg European ties. And it is Gundogan who's bringing the ball forward for Manchester City. Gives it square to De Bruyne onto his right foot, shoots low, and it took a deflection which carried it wider of goal to the right and behind for a corner to Manchester City. They are risking it a little bit, giving De Bruyne that much space.
Yeah, he was a way out, to be fair. He was a good, 25-30 yards out, and good defending, nice and strong. Didn't shirk the block at all, hit him, went out for a corner, and it's De Bruyne who's walking over with the ball now to take it. This will be an out swinger.
De Bruyne just knocking the ball from foot to foot as he walks over there to our left, down into that corner, wipes his brow with the left sleeve of his shirt, raises his right arm, and then De Bruyne's delivery is deep, and it's over everyone. It's over Fernandinho, who's the closest to it. It comes out over there on the far side for João Cancelo, who did play at left back in the match against Norwich, so has continued there with Mendy out injured. Zinchenko is among the substitutes. I can see him just down having a little chat with Riyad Mahrez and the rest of the substitutes. They are socially distanced, I should underline, as the ball is passed out from Ederson to Gundogan. Gundogan turns and just a little ball out towards João Cancelo, then back it comes to Laporte on the edge of the penalty area, and they go back to Ederson again. This is very cagey. It actually, if you remember, Dion, was very cagey for the most part, certainly. Yes. The first hour or so in the first leg in the Bernabeu all those months ago. Yeah,
they were both sort of dipping their toe in the water. Who's going to do what? When are they going to do it? And it's pretty much started the same.
Pep Guardiola, hands on his hips on the edge of the coaching area. Pep Guardiola, his last Champions League triumph was 9 years ago. Real Madrid now take possession on the edge of their own penalty. Courtois, who won the Goalkeeper of the Year trophy, the Zamora trophy in La Liga this season. He's now won the league title in Spain with both Real and Atletico, which is a rare feat. 66 years since anyone's done that. Real Madrid, Varane's lost it, it's played across and turned into the net by Sterling. Well, careless Real Madrid. Gabriel Jesus nipped it back from Varane and rolled it across. Sterling in the middle had the easiest of chances to tap the ball into the net from 8 yards, and City have been gifted a goal by Real Madrid. They lead 1-0 on the night and 3-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, you cannot do that. I did say, if you are going to be sloppy, it's great to try and play out from the back. It's great to play the beautiful game, but if you take that much time, you will give the opposing side just that little bit of an edge. They'll creep, and they did. Jesus, he's picked his pocket, and he had the nous to find Sterling 8 yards out, a couple of yards from the penalty spot. Easiest goal he'll ever score in the Champions League. City 1 up.
Oh, Rafael Varane, Dion, of all people, a mistake like that from him.
But there has to be a time where you say, right, we cannot play out. You know what? Norwich tried to do it all season. It doesn't matter if you're Norwich or you're Real. If you play out too much, if you're too sloppy, you will get caught on the ball.
And all of the talk about the strength of this Zidane Real Madrid team being its defence. The fact they conceded only 25 goals in La Liga this season. They've not conceded as few as that since 1982-83, Dion.
And now he's just played the ball forward to Benzema. Benzema makes it on. He's played the ball forward. That's what he should have done the last time. It doesn't matter who you are, John. If you play slow out from the back, you will get caught on the ball.
So Raheem Sterling scores his 31st goal of the season, and that too, incidentally, was his 100th goal for Manchester City.
Wow.
In his 242nd appearance, and this is personal best goal season, as was last season, and they are serious numbers. 31 this season, and he won't have scored too many easier ones than that.
8 yards out against Real Madrid at home, little side foot. He'll take those all day long.
Well, in the first leg, Manchester City rather gifted the opening goal to Real Madrid, although not as gift-wrapped as that was. Here's De Bruyne taking the ball forward into a central area, back towards Foden. Foden on his left foot, rolls it across. Great start for Manchester City to get in front here, score the opening goal of this second leg. Gundogan back towards the left-hand side, and then Manchester City very nearly give it away, but Kyle Walker, excellent, was in there very quickly to make sure that it didn't bounce for Hazard. Now here's Foden, right side of the box, onto his left foot, shoots, deflected out to Gundogan, left foot shot from him, that's blocked in the area. Foden tries to reach it, Mendy couldn't get it completely clear, and then they have been able to clear it up towards Benzema, who's just nudged over by Fernandinho, and Real Madrid survive.
Yeah, they are really playing a dangerous game. It actually feels like there's actually fans in here tonight, because you can see all the Man City staff. Every time they do something well, there's rapturous applause by all the staff here, letting their players know that we're with you.
Well, quite a big travelling party, Real Madrid, and their staff are just to our right, and then the Manchester City people are a little are down in front of us, the substitutes, and then there are more in a central area. I think it's the biggest crowd I've been part of since the restart.
Yeah, I agree. It's normally a couple of hundred, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's your lot. And that, all the staff and the workers and everything.
The ball at the back with Courtois. It's already been beaten tonight. The goal coming in the 9th minute for Raheem Sterling. Varane had the ball on the dead ball line on the right-hand side and just dwelt on it too long, and Gabriel Jesus was quickly in, nipped it away from him and just pulled it back to Raheem Sterling, who was able to stroke it into the net. So City lead Real Madrid by 1-0. Still 0-0 in the other match tonight, Juventus against Lyon. So Lyon are 1-0 up on aggregate in that second leg. And we will have more action for you tomorrow night, Saturday night, Champions League. We'll have commentary on the second leg of Bayern Munich against Chelsea, but of course Bayern Munich lead by 3-0. Ian Dennis and Rob Green will be bringing you that one. Here's Phil Foden. Foden plays it forward, took a deflection which carried it away from De Bruyne. So Real were able to see it back to their goalkeeper. Yeah,
the whole idea of playing the ball at the back is to try and move the opposing team as a unit.
Militao's been caught in possession. Sterling's all over him into the penalty area, and referee Brich says that was a foul by Sterling. Careless again, this time the other centre half.
Yeah, they do gamble, don't they? They really do. Have they not seen City play? Do they not know that City works so hard to get the ball back?
Casemiro, who has been very quiet in the early stages, but sends a ball out to the right-hand side to Rodrigo. Now here's Benzema. 26 goals for Real Madrid this season. Lays it back to Modric, who hits the shot high over the top from 22 yards out. He's claiming it took a deflection off Rodri, but referee Brich was right there and says no, goal kick City.
Yeah, we've seen those triangles, Rodri and De Bruyne and Gundogan at the moment running that midfield. I haven't seen anything of Modric. He tried early on in the game to start and make things happen. Toni Kroos, you haven't seen anything of him. Casemiro hasn't had a ball at his feet at all, so credit City.
So 1-0 Manchester City lead. BBC Radio 5 Live. It's a red button night tonight as well. 5 Live final score is there. if you use the red button on your television and look for 5 Live final score. Ball played over the top for Manchester City. Foden's after that, and Militao plays it across, and that's given away again. This time Sterling through towards Gundogan tries to return it to Sterling in the middle, and Carvajal came across and cleared it from near the penalty spot. Again, shaky from Real Madrid. City all over them at the back. Zinedine Zidane comes forward and claps his hands together on the edge of the coaching area, but he must be a little alarmed by what he's saying here, and you know, whether it's the lack of the presence of Sergio Ramos or just downright carelessness, it isn't looking too clever for Real Madrid just here.
Yeah, that organisation doesn't seem to be there, that urgency doesn't seem to be there.
De Bruyne now plays it through towards Sterling, who turns, and he's going to try a shot which curls just over the bar onto the roof of the net.
That is an amazing strike. Sterling just turning 5 yards away from the corner of the box. He should really be shooting with his left, but he shifts it over to his right foot. De Bruyne goes in behind him, actually. He's got Kyle Walker going down the right-hand side as well. He ignores both, and it's like one of those dipping shots, the way that David Luiz strikes the ball. It went up and down very quickly. Nearly surprised Courtois.
1-0 Manchester City lead. Courtois with the ball, just passing it out to Toni Kroos, who's dropped deep, puts his foot on the ball, and back it goes again to Toni Kroos, and Modric back towards Kroos, and for the most part Sterling on the right hand side, Gabriel Jesus on the left, and actually Phil Foden playing as in the role that Bernardo Silva played in the first leg as your false nine. So it's another little bit of variation from Guardiola, but a similar tactic to the one that he used in the first leg.
Absolutely. It's it's sort of leaving Militao and Varane thinking they've got lots of time on the ball as the two centre halves, because Foden's dropping into that little pocket there away from the two centre halves, and they feel like they've got lots of time. They haven't, and then Sterling creeps down the right, Jesus creeps down the left, and that's when they set those traps.
I don't know about you, Dion, but I just have a fancy that this role could really suit Phil Foden.
Yes, and I think that, because you can see him now, he's gone from left to the central area.
Ball towards the halfway line, looking for Jesus from Ederson, but Varane wins that in the air, and the ball bounces down here to Eden Hazard, gives it to Kroos and Hazard in close quarters. Hazard looks up, right foot back towards Casemiro, and now Ferland Mendy playing instead of Marcelo, who has been injured, but Marcelo is among the substitutes, and they work it out towards the right hand side. The men in pink as Real Madrid are here in this second leg tonight. Carvajal with the cross, it's a high one, and Ederson comes for it and makes a good catch. Actually, he was stretching there against Benzema, but caught it securely, both hands.
Yeah, he made a decision. That ball was far too loopy from the right hand side, and he made a decision to come stuck by it. Nice and steady keeping there from Ederson.
We've just seen another shot of Sergio Ramos. I mentioned, Dion, that he's here in his waistcoat. I'm not quite sure exactly where he is sitting, but
he's sitting right there, John. You look to the right, you can see him sat forward, little ponytail just there. You can see him.
Oh yes, got him there. He is, well spotted.
No problem. He gave me a wave early. He texted me early. Yes,
did he?
He said, "I have a ponytail tonight."
Yeah. He's got it. That beard that he's got at the moment, he's like the old man in the sea. Looks as though he's been on the rowing boat for the last 6 months.
It's like Mike Dean.
No, he's got a long way to go, Mike Dean. Here's Foden for Manchester City. Sterling on the right hand side. Sterling past two men. Oh, and then again past Mendy. Then the challenge comes in from Casemiro, and referee Break says it was a good one. Took the ball. And what a good challenge it was as well, with Sterling right side of the box, just thinking he was about to double Manchester City's lead.
Yeah, it was an amazing piece of skill. That went right, went left two players behind, and it was a great tackle as well. Really, really good tackle. Sterling should have set fire to the ball a little bit earlier, would have got himself a second goal.
Manchester City leading Real Madrid by 1-0. But Sterling, an electric start for him, scoring the goal. Thought he was in for a second one there, but I mean, brilliant, leaving Real Madrid players in his wake as he found his way into the penalty area. But all credit to Casemiro for putting in a challenge like that in the box. It was a risky one. If he'd misjudged that one, it would have been an absolutely certain penalty for Manchester City, but he didn't. Here's Modric. Real Madrid obviously need to get him into the game. 1-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate to Manchester City, who will play the winners of the Lyon-Juventus tie, which is still 0-0 on the night. So Lyon leading by 1-0. Real up towards the edge of the penalty area, clearance away by Fernandinho. Kroos wins it back against Kevin De Bruyne. Might have just taken a little knock there from the Real Madrid German midfielder, who is on the ball now. Kroos, Real Madrid's number 8. De Bruyne just arrives, and so he plays it back into his own half towards Militao, the Brazilian international, who has come in. And Lyon have taken the lead against Juventus. So Lyon are now leading by 2-0 on aggregate. Real coming forward. Ball played up towards the edge of the penalty area by Carvajal, and it is won back by Manchester City. So Foden takes it towards the halfway line. Back centrally to Rodri. Then Rodri rolls it right across the field here to Kevin De Bruyne. And then back towards Kyle Walker, who's just behind him. De Bruyne actually allows the ball to roll almost to a stop, and actually just puts his shirt sleeve up to mop his brow again. A very warm night, Dion. We can see the City sky blue shirts darkening with the perspiration.
Yeah, these are tough nights actually when it's this kind of temperature and this kind of feel. If it's blazing sunshine, it is kind of easy, or should I say easier. When it's muggy like this, it's quite hard to get your breath.
Yeah, beautiful to watch though. Here's Hazard, oh lovely from Hazard. Benzema onto his right foot, saved by Ederson, diving to his left. Great work from Hazard and Benzema combining together. But Ederson making the save, leaping to his left.
Yeah, that's the first time that Hazard's got the ball and gone forward with it. He's had the ball 3 or 4 times before, played square, stood still. This time, the Hazard we know and love, going forward. Nice little ball in between the two centre-halves. Benzema finding a way between Laporte and Fernandinho. And what a good save, by the way, from Ederson.
Good save. I'm not sure he got it right in the corner, which is where he wanted it, but good save. Corner taken. Ball played back across. Modric puts his foot on the ball, gives it back towards the right-hand side, and Rodrigo goes one way, then the other. Here's the crossfire deflection, which takes it straight behind for another Real Madrid corner, which Rodrigo is going to take short towards Kroos, who was coming across. I thought he might have taken it, but it's played back, and a low shot from just outside the penalty area from Eden Hazard, but Ederson must have had a good sight of it and was down quickly and saved it near the foot of his left post.
I don't think he was expecting that at all, Ederson. He was kind of behind one of his own players, and Hazard looked like he was going to cross it, and then he pulled it towards Ederson's near post. Had it covered. Good hands tonight, the keeper so far, very safe.
Yep. So Manchester City still lead by 1-0. BBC Radio 5 live from the east side of Manchester on a beautiful evening, as I say, to sit and watch football. As I was driving in through the streets of eastern Manchester, people were out bare-chested in the beer gardens. I hope they're all being safe, but it was a beautiful evening for it, as the ball bounces out of play for a throw into Manchester City down the right-hand side. Kyle Walker is across to take one of the balls off the little training cones, holds the ball above his head just about 10 yards away from Zinedine Zidane, who's still got his dark jacket on tonight. I'm not sure he needs that. Walker with a throw to the edge of the penalty area. It's cleared away by Carvajal. Comes out though to the left hand side to Joao Cancelo, who I'm sure would love to go back to Lisbon. Joao Cancelo, the former Benfica player. And now City going all the way back into their own half. Yep, just in case you're not aware, this year the Champions League final stages, the quarter-final, semi-final and the final will all be one-off matches, and they will be played in Lisbon over the course of the next couple of weeks or so in the two big grounds there. Ball up towards Gabriel Jesus, who flicks a header on, but Courtois is able to come out right to the edge of his penalty area and pick it up. 1-0 to Manchester City, 3-1 on the night, almost halfway through the first half, a little bit more than that actually. And Real Madrid sending the ball forward. Laporte adjusts quickly, is able to find Rodri, and then Manchester City go back into their own half. But there was a warning there, Dion, in that little period from Real Madrid of what they're capable of.
Yeah, and they won't panic either, because they will have their fair share amount of the ball as well, and they will create chances. So it's down to City to keep doing what they've done so far to get themselves in front.
Foul on Rodrigo. 10 yards inside the Manchester City half. It's just upended by Gabriel Jesus, who just caught his heels.
Yeah, I can see that front three City not really being regimented in their positions, being allowed to swap wherever they want to go. Foden playing down the middle, but he's been outside left, outside right as well, and Sterling's gone in the middle as well. It's a great bit of freedom for Foden tonight. Knowing how to use it though, John, that's the key.
Well, they're doing okay at the moment, Manchester City, leading through the Raheem Sterling goal, his 100th for Manchester City. But the ball out for a throw-in on the halfway line that Carvajal takes back to the man who was caught in possession, Varane, for the opening goal tonight. Militao, little pass to him from goalkeeper Courtois, then back to Varane again. And Real Madrid once again playing the ball out from the back. Courtois actually carries it out of the penalty area on his left foot, finds a pass to Carvajal, who wins a throw-in off Gundogan over on that far side.
You can see when they're trying to play out, we're right behind this. Militao's trying to get the ball here, and Toni Kroos is pulling right into that left back spot, but Sterling's cutting off that pass, so they have to go in the pitch, and Courtois is going in the pitch, and there's nobody to play to. He has to go long.
Kroos has got it now, middle of the Real Madrid half, back across to Varane. Benzema then gets up and wins the header, but the offside flag is up against him, and it's a free kick to Manchester City, who have taken control. Manchester City, with the 25 minutes played, scored the only goal. Okay, there have been a couple of sighters and a couple of saves by Ederson, but for the most part Manchester City have been the more impressive. Rodri.
Yeah, they always seem to hit the target when they get into those areas as well. Real Madrid don't waste a chance, John, to test the keeper.
I don't know about you, Dion. When football resumed, I mean, you and I have been here, haven't we, this season?
Yeah.
And they have been very impressive here for the most part since the restart. They've won all of their matches by an aggregate of 24-1, those 6 matches. And they've had some very impressive wins. You know, remember the opening night against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I, you know, when they resumed, you pretty much knew that the title had gone. And I think a lot of that was preparation for tonight, this home game, and how they wanted to go about it.
No, I agree. They look very assured tonight, very organised, City. Yeah, they normally do, I know, but they're playing against, you know, an outfit here that don't very rarely give you chances.
Rodri, a little bit tight with his pass back to Ederson, but City have been able to play it away now. Joao Cancelo is bringing it forward. He's gone a long way with it. Plays the ball through for Sterling, but the left back, Ferland Mendy, just came across Sterling and made sure that he wasn't able to latch onto it, and Real Madrid are able to play it out from the back. Yeah,
Cancelo there, just you know, doing all the right thing. Great pressure, getting the ball back, and his just final pass there just overhits it for Sterling.
Modric now lifts the ball towards the right-hand side, and the 19-year-old Brazilian Rodrigo is able to use Carvajal. Benzema has dropped deep, little prodded ball through, then Rodrigo plays it round the one side of Cancelo and crosses. Benzema with a header down and in, and Real Madrid equalise on the night. A header from 6 yards. It's 1-1 on the night. 3-2 on aggregate now. Yeah, that's what Real do. I did say if you give them chances, they will hit the target. They always make the goalkeeper make a save. I can see Ramos there. He's about 10 yards, 20 yards away from me. He stood up with his ponytail and his beard. He's clapping away to his side. He's shouting information to his team. But that was a nice little move there. Benzema plays it in that little gap. Nice little pull back there. He's level with the near post, Benzema. It's a lovely little wedge pass, that is. What a great little ball that was from Rodrigo. And he is dangerous anywhere near the goal. He is lethal. Well, that was delightful from him. Beat Cancelo, who obviously we would think of as a right back first and foremost, but with Benjamin Mendy suspended, Pep Guardiola is playing Cancelo as the left back, and Rodrigo beat him brilliantly and then got into position to send the crossover, as Dion described, for Benzema to do the rest and score his 27th goal of the season for Real Madrid. Yeah, it was one of those crosses where, as a centre forward, you have to put direction on it and you have to put pace on it as well. Sort of left it in an area as if to say, go on then, head this. He had to put everything on it, direction and everything past Ederson, got it absolutely spot on. So it is Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1 now. 3-2 on aggregate. And Manchester City That gives them something to think about. Gabriel Jesus playing the ball back to Cancelo, and then Jesus just bundled over by Carvajal, still sitting on the ground on his backside. Free kick. Carvajal comes over, helps him up. City take the free kick back into their own half.
That was funny. The referee gave the free kick. All the arms went up from the Real bunch, and then all the claps from the City staff.
Yeah, but it is the case, isn't it? It was actually relatively noisy when the goal was scored there from all of the Real Madrid supporters. Here's Foden on the edge of the penalty area, trying to play through to Sterling. Now De Bruyne. Foden again, took a little touch, played it forward. Mendy gets in the way of Kevin De Bruyne, who is claiming to the assistant down here to the right that the final touch was off the Real Madrid left back, but he feels otherwise. Goal kick Real.
Yeah, did well there, Mendy. He knew, it's one of those ones, the ball's in between the two players. He knew that De Bruyne was going to go for a really strong shoulder charge, and he stood strong.
City coming again just outside the penalty area. Foden uses Gundogan then back to Rodri, who goes back into the centre circle. So Manchester City have had their 2-goal advantage in the tie pegged back by that Benzema header. Finished the season with 4 goals in 4 games in the Spanish League. Now he's got another one on the resumption of the Champions League. Ball worked to the right-hand side. Manchester City's goal scorer this evening, Raheem Sterling, on the ball. And then infield towards Phil Foden, playing as the false number 9. Rodri then through the middle. Jesus back to Foden. Foden tried to find Jesus, but there was too much pink there on the edge of the Real Madrid box. It was blocked. City take up possession again. Ball with Cancelo on the left-hand side. A little change of feet from him. And then the cross, he's got far too much on that. He's lifted it right across the penalty area, and it bounces out of play for a throw into Real in their left-back area.
Yeah, that's where Cancelo really needs to do better. Little lollipop, as we call it, go down the left-hand side, and should have put a better cross in there, because he had a lot of light blue shirts. It could have caused some damage to Real.
Yeah, need a nice lollipop tonight. Here's Ferland.
Yes, we do.
Ferland Mendy playing the ball across the edge of his own penalty area, and Real have got it at the back. So 1-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. The second round of the US PGA Championship Golf continues. There'll be commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra tonight from 9 o'clock. Last I looked, both Paul Casey and Tommy Fleetwood were going well. We'll have more on that at half-time, and more on the cricket as well, I'm sure, where England fought back strongly with Pakistan 137 for 8 when the close of play eventually came on the other side of Manchester at the cricket ground. Here's Walker for Manchester City. 1-1 on the night here. Walker on a weaving run, and he's still going. He's taken it from inside his own half, and he's going to try a shot, which he slashes wide and high, and it lands on that sky blue canvas to the right of the goal.
He actually received that ball in his right back area, about 20 yards away from the halfway line, and every pass he wanted to play was cut off, so he had to go by 3 or 4 players, and he was right to have a shot in the end. There wasn't a pass on. Why not? After all your hard work, you'd have a go.
Yeah. Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. That's Dion Dublin with us on 5 Live tonight. As I mentioned, we have the Spanish radio commentary teams in front of us and to our left. But as you might know, in fact, you might have been with us, the worst place to have them is right behind you. And I've had that at Old Trafford, when you know how tight it is at Old Trafford under normal circumstances. And so I hope for you, wherever you're listening to us, whether you're in your car or in your kitchen, that we are holding our own against our Spanish visitors.
Yes, we are. Try all you like to drown us out. It's not going to happen.
Real have the ball just inside their own half. Varane turns, just over half an hour played. You'll notice no drinks break in the Champions League. The ball played over the top. It's headed across the edge of the City penalty area by Kyle Walker. Hoisted high and away, out of our sight, above the roof in front of us. Hazard gets the ball down, plays it back to Kroos. Now back to Hazard again. Eden Hazard tried to play it through the legs of Rodri. He did so. He managed to get round the other side and then was muscled over by Eden Hazard. But referee Brick says it's only a throw-in, which Kyle Walker takes. No, it's only a throw into Real Madrid.
Yeah, I'm not sure
if that... foul, didn't it?
Yeah, it did look like a foul, actually. Might have got that one wrong, the referee. Let's start there. I think City have done well. Sorry, John. I think City have done well, actually, because they've limited Modric and Toni Kroos just to get the ball off.
Mendy playing the ball down the left-hand side, but the offside flag was correctly raised by the assistant against Benzema, who's just down here, and it's a free kick to Manchester City halfway inside their own half. Real Madrid in European competitions have won just one of 6 ties when they lost the first leg at home, and that was back in 1970-71 against Wacker Innsbruck of Austria in the Cup Winners' Cup. However, what I would say to that is, remember last season when we had 3 occasions when teams at home lost in the knockout stages of the Champions League and then went through, and by a strange quirk, Felix Brich was the referee for 2 of those 3 ties when it was turned over. It's funny how these things tend to work themselves out. Ederson clearing the ball long downfield, but Militao is under that. Gundogan is under his clearance and uses Cancelo. 1-1 on the night. Ball played down into the full-back position for Gabriel Jesus. Foden is in the middle. Sterling's there as well. Jesus plays it back to Cancelo, who's behind him. Then it comes more centrally to Rodri. And then Rodri, left foot tap to his right to Kyle Walker, who came across. Now Sterling, who peeled out to the right-hand side. Sterling to Kevin De Bruyne. And then back to Sterling. The ball almost comes to a stop. Kevin De Bruyne then has 2 Real Madrid players on him, but manages to hold them off, both Hazard and Kroos, and gives it back to Walker behind him. Good possession play from Manchester City. This City now working it back towards the left-hand side, comes back to Laporte, Aymeric Laporte, rolled pass forward. Foden drops deep, gives it back to the Frenchman, Laporte, and then all the way back to Fernandinho inside the Manchester City half. Kyle Walker now to the right-hand side to Sterling. Sterling beats Hazard, a little drop of the shoulder, he enjoyed that. Now he sets off again, plays it through to Kevin De Bruyne. Important touch in there from Casemiro, who gets up and is able to head away the deflected ball. And now Real Madrid will try to break, but Benzema takes it on inside his own half. Sterling tackles back on him. Casemiro centre field, a heavy touch. That meant that Gundogan could win it back. Gundogan across towards Rodri, just forward of the centre circle. Kevin De Bruyne is able to get there just ahead of Rodrigo and finds Cancelo into the area. A right foot shot, saved by Courtois, but he only parried it back out into the penalty area, and he was fortunate that it fell to the feet of Militao, who was able to clear it away. Still ball bouncing in the Real Madrid right back area, and the referee says the final touch was off Rodrigo, and it's a throw into Manchester City.
Yeah, Real Madrid haven't convinced me yet. In the final third, City's final third, closest to Ederson, Real Madrid come alive. In the other 2 final thirds, I'm not too sure they realise that you cannot play the game that slow. When they're going for goal and the way they create chances, absolutely outstanding. And the other 2 thirds, they seem a little bit sloppy.
1-1 here on the night, so Manchester City 3-2 ahead on aggregate. There have been 2 goals in the other tie this evening as well, but Lyon have scored both of them and lead by 3-0 against Juventus on aggregate in that second leg in Turin. Ball out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. And Kyle Walker again has to come across and pick up the ball from the little flat orange cone and throw it infield towards Laporte. He's got the ball on his left foot, has a little look up, but uses his right for Cancelo, who has been quite prominent coming forward, but was beaten by Rodrigo rather easily, but well, for the equaliser on the night. Ball over the top down the right-hand side for Sterling. Sterling pulls it down. Ferland Mendy is right there with him. Mendy did well, and then Sterling just tugging back at Mendy. And it's a free kick that Sterling protests about, but it's a free kick to Real Madrid.
Yeah, he was having a shout at the referee. What about? I don't know. And now I can see why he's shouting, because I'm just seeing a replay there, and it was Mendy who actually pulled Sterling back when he lost control of the ball first, so it should have been a free kick to City. That's why Sterling wasn't happy.
Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. Looking across towards the suspended Sergio Ramos in his waistcoat. He is quite literally sitting on the edge of his seat, isn't he?
Yes, as well, yes. And you can see his mouth hasn't stopped moving. He's passing on information to his team.
Beg your pardon, 1-0 it is to Lyon on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. I think I wrote the 2 in the wrong place there, Dion. This is what happens when you're socially distanced from your producer.
Exactly.
Here's Jesus. Now De Bruyne carrying it on strongly towards the edge of the penalty area. Goes down under a challenge. He had Real Madrid players on either side of him. Turned, appealed to the referee. The referee said, nope, no free kick. And Real cleared it out of play. And actually, Dr. Felix Brich, as he is, the referee, will come across and just have a little wag of the finger at Kevin De Bruyne for his reaction.
Oh, look at that. We're seeing the replay here on the screens, and yes, it is. I think it's is it Rodrigo?
It was Carvajal.
Was it Carvajal pulling him back? He pulled his shorts.
Yeah, very, very craftily, you might say. Just just sneaked his hand round the back of his back and pulled the top of his shorts.
The top of his shorts, yes.
Yeah, you'd have felt that.
Very clever.
Reminds you of your school days, Dion.
Yeah, I never did any of that pushing and shoving, John. That wasn't my game. Finesse, that was all about finesse.
Here's Walker, back to Rodri, then towards Gundogan, now to the left-hand side. Gabriel Jesus is there. He has the option of Gundogan. Ball played into the area, took a deflection off defender Carvajal. Courtois was able to clear it away. The way that City are set up today, and just to explain for anyone who's switched on, with Jesus on the left, Foden in the middle, Sterling on the right, and obviously Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan getting well forward as well. There's lots of invention in there, isn't it? All the flicks and tricks. One of those nights where if they come off for Manchester City, you could see a really convincing win. But they're trying to make them come off against Real Madrid, who are coming forward with Kroos on the left-hand side. Then Hazard comes over, gives it back to Kroos, and then Modric plays it back into central defence to Varane. 5 minutes to go, less than 5 minutes to play in the second leg of this Champions League last 16 tie. Live from Manchester, where Laporte gets a round of applause from all of the Manchester City people, such as they are inside the ground, for pulling the ball down, giving it now to Gundogan. Gundogan's taken it a long way. Gabriel Jesus is there, left corner of the box. Jesus, who scored in the Bernabeu, remember. Ball bounces to Cancelo on the left-hand side. He couldn't keep it in. It's a throw-in to Real Madrid out there. So 1-1 it remains on the night.
Yeah, well, it's a good game, actually. Both teams trying to play the game in the right way, as you would expect. City, for me, the better side, the more potent side, the more organised side as well. Yes, I think Pep sets his teams up. They all have a position, they all have a part to play, but if one player leaves that position, the other player fits in for him.
Courtois, poor clearance. De Bruyne, back to Foden on the edge of the box. Left foot shot, just wide of the foot of the post from the edge of the area. That cannot have been far away.
I mean, Courtois again being put under pressure by Foden himself, or was it Jesus? No, it's Foden actually. He's put the pressure on him and he kicks it to De Bruyne. Foden has to just check back out of the box, from inside the box to out of the box to get on his left foot, and he just scoos his shot wide of the post. Courtois, you could see a close-up, shaking his head as if to say, I can't do that.
Hazard for Mendy. Mendy's cross for Real Madrid from the left-hand side, but Laporte comes across. No scare there, just casually whacks it back out of play over here on the Real Madrid left. How close was it, the shot from Foden?
Yeah, it wasn't too far away. It wasn't too far, 2 or 3 yards wide.
Oh, as far as that?
Yeah, 2 or 3 yards wide. Didn't quite catch it with his laces. They are very sloppy at the back.
Oh,
they are very sloppy. Yeah, they really are. And if you don't know that City love that.
Throwing for Real Madrid. Just down to our left here. Sterling bounces away, bounces for Manchester City. De Bruyne drifts past Modric. De Bruyne's over the halfway line now, plays it forward to Sterling, right side of the box. He turns it back to Foden, but Carvajal stepped across and was able to intercept at the crucial moment just as Foden was arriving. And now it's Real Madrid with Hazard down the left-hand side. Hazard cuts back against Walker, plays it centrally towards Modric. Modric looks up. De Bruyne just coming back. Rodrigo curls the ball into the area to Benzema, who shoots straight at Ederson, but the offside flag was up, and if he had been able to turn it into the back of the net, the goal would have been ruled out.
Yes, the flag went up pretty sharpish, but he does it so well. He just goes a little bit too early. He's about 2 yards offside. He's in between Kyle Walker and he's in behind Fernandinho, but Benzema always seems to find himself in between the sticks, 16 yards out, always giving his teammates a target. Put it into an area, I'll get on the end of it. He is incredibly dangerous and comes alive in that box.
Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. It's 3-2 to Manchester City on aggregate, with half-time approaching. Modric challenging Jesus in the air, in the middle of his own half. Gundogan now to Rodri at close quarters. The German international puts his foot on the ball, turns, goes full 360 degrees, uses Laporte, who gives it to Joao Cancelo down the left-hand side. Right-footed cross as he cut back onto his right, and Varane was in there on the edge of the 6-yard box to head it back out towards that far side where it bounces out of play.
It seems a bit City. He seems to have a bit more energy, don't they? They seem to be so much more sharper.
Foden with the cross, comes off the back of defender Carvajal, goes straight behind. Corner to Manchester City from the left-hand side of the field as they come forward. Foden just wanders away. The corner will be taken in that little area there where all of the canvas is over, all of the seats inside the Etihad Stadium. The one in that corner is the Citizens Giving charity, which has been set up as a reaction to everything that's happened over the course of the recent months. 1 minute of added time. Corner then to Manchester City. De Bruyne swings it into the near post. Courtois punches it away from under the crossbar. Rodri was challenging for it for City, and then Real Madrid are able to clear it away towards the halfway line, but it's sent back and forward and is pulled down by De Bruyne over there on the left. Brilliantly brought it down, that high ball. Gundogan, only seconds left in the first half, gives it to De Bruyne on the left-hand side, tried to stab it across with the right foot, falls to Sterling in the middle, he turns, trying to find a shooting opportunity, Kroos went down, the ball ran away from him, and Manchester City, I thought there might have been a foul there on Gabriel Jesus, but the referee has allowed play to continue. Just a few seconds left of these first 45 minutes with the score level at 1-1 on the night. Still Manchester City with it, with De Bruyne, who lifts a clever little chip ball in towards the corner of the penalty area. Sterling is there over on the left-hand side for a change in this first half. Back it is angled towards Sterling, who just waits, dwells on the ball, gives it back to Cancelo, and then the return pass rolls down towards the corner flag, and that must be it. It is. That is the half-time whistle. Fascinating first half. 1-1 after Raheem Sterling gave Manchester City an early lead after a dreadful error really at the back. Rafa Varane dwelling on the ball, dispossessed by Jesus, who set up Sterling to score it, his 100th goal for Manchester City. And other chances came. City could have doubled their lead if they'd had the run of the ball. One brilliant challenge from Casemiro on Sterling when he thought he was in, but Real Madrid had a flurry and eventually equalised. Rodrigo beating Cancelo and setting up Benzema to head in from the edge of the 6-yard box. So 1-1 at half-time, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I think it's been a good game. I think City have been by far the better team. Real are incredibly dangerous in that final third when they've got the quality of Modric, Benzema's movement, and Rodrigo's putting some great crosses in the box as well. But I think the defending, the concentration of City, the setup that Pep's put out tonight is working.
So just as at the start of this second leg, Manchester City have their noses in front at half-time. 1-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate.
Dion, City have pressed, they've harried, they've treated Real Madrid like any other opponent. Basically, they've been rewarded for doing what Pep said they would do, which is focus on their own game.
Yeah, and that's what he does. What it is, Steve, and I said in comms as well, if you play out from the back slowly, you will get caught, regardless of who you are, how good you are. If City try and play out from the back and they're playing slow, they will get caught on the ball. If there's a press set, Real have been really poor trying to play out from the back, so slow and sluggish. And when you've got Foden and Sterling and Jesus, you've got Rodri coming in behind, Gundogan's working his socks off as well, all ready to squeeze. You've got no chance of getting out if you're sloppy, and that's what Real have been. Final third though, Steve, as I said before, anything that goes in the box, Benzema's an absolute handful.
Do Real Madrid look a bit shocked with how City are playing?
They shouldn't be, Steve, because we know how City plays, we know how good they are. We know how potent they are. We know how hard they work to get the ball back. So there shouldn't be any shocks whatsoever. City deserve this lead that they've got on aggregate. They've worked incredibly hard tonight, and if Real continue to play like that from the back, they will get caught again.
I see that Sergio Ramos is very much dressed for the northern quarter tonight. I know you're very close. Will you be joining him later?
I can't hear you, Steve. Sorry, I can't hear you. I've lost you. Sorry, interference. Yes, I might meet him later.
Sergio Ramos won't be going to the northern quarter. They're having another COVID test before they fly back to Madrid. That's what he'll be doing.
Yes, very much so. John Dion, thank you very much. So, Real Madrid trail Manchester City in the tie, level on the night, but Pep Guardiola's side, as it stands, will be going to Lisbon for that mini tournament, and they'll be playing in the quarter-final a week tomorrow at the Jose Alvalade. As it stands, well, if they go through, they'll play the winners of Juventus against Lyon, which is also at half-time. Rob Schofield?
Half-time, Juventus 1, Lyon 1. The French side 2-1 up on aggregate. I said it could be Memphis Depay's night. Well, he's had the story for both goals, both penalties. He scored the first, an audacious Panenka after 12 minutes. Usamuar brought down after a mazy run, but Memphis then conceded the second. A handball in the wall and a free kick. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't take any chances with his penalty, smashing it past Anthony Lopez, who denied him a trademark free kick just moments before. We really have got a game on in Turin here. Juventus have won. They've got 45 minutes to find 2 more, and I've lost count of how many cigarettes Maurizio Sarri has chewed through in that first 45. Half-time, Juventus 1, Lyon 1. Lyon 2-1 up on aggregate.
Thank you, Rob. Right, before second half commentary at the Etihad, we'll get the latest from the PGA Championship in San Francisco, and we'll wrap up day 3. Fascinating day at Old Trafford of the first test between England and Pakistan. First, we'll get the latest news on 5 Live with Nick Hatton.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
People in Preston will no longer be able to visit each other's homes from midnight tonight. That's as lockdown restrictions are reimposed. It brings the Lancashire city into line with other parts of northern England, including Greater Manchester, which has seen a rise in coronavirus cases. Officials in India say at least 16 people have died in a plane crash in Kerala in the south of the country. The Air India Express jet was en route from Dubai when it overshot the runway. The Unite Union has refused to rule out industrial action at British Airways, which is cutting large numbers of cabin crew jobs to reduce costs in the wake of COVID-19. Staff were told by email today whether they'd be made redundant. Those invited to stay at BA will have to sign new contracts and accept lower wages. The former Labour MP Eric Joyce has been given a suspended prison sentence for making an indecent image of a child. The former army officer admitted having footage of abuse on his computer, but said he'd received it on a spam email. And today was the hottest August day since 2003, according to the Met Office. Temperatures reached 36.4 Celsius at Heathrow Airport and Kew Gardens at West London.
5 Live Breakfast.
8 Aberdeen players are self-isolating and will miss 3 Scottish Premiership matches. 2 squad members tested positive for COVID-19. All 8 men were in an Aberdeen bar linked to the city's COVID-19 spike on Saturday after the loss to Rangers. Meanwhile, the other thing we're talking about this morning, holidays. Many people will be concerned to see the news that Andorra and the Bahamas have been added to the quarantine list, and as well as Belgium.
Elsewhere, though, people in Northern Ireland have been told they've got to wear face coverings. Preston could be the next area in England to face government intervention after a rise in coronavirus rates.
And here is the news from the BBC.
5 Live Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6. This is 5 Live Sport
With Steve Crossman.
Manchester City won, Real Madrid won at the Etihad Stadium. Raheem Sterling and Karim Benzema. So City 3-2 up on aggregate. We've got full second half commentary to come. It is day 2 of the PGA Championship in San Francisco. Our coverage on 5 Live Sports Extra starts in 7 minutes' time. Here's our correspondent Ian Carter.
Yes, and 2 Englishmen in the top 3 as it stands at the moment. Tommy Fleetwood has got it to 6 under par. He's played brilliantly today as he nears the end of his first round, and Paul Casey is at 5 under par. He's played beautifully in the morning wave as well, but they trail the young Chinese player Li Hao Tong, who has completed his second round, and he is at 8 under par, 2 shots clear of the field. The practice area is abuzz right now, Steve. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, they're ready to go, and they'll be featuring in our coverage on 5 Live Sports Extra.
Big names in action tonight at the World Snooker Championships in Sheffield, Jamie Broughton.
Doesn't get any bigger than the defending champion Judd Trump. He resumed up. It's 9-7 up tonight against Yan Bingtao in his second round match. Trump now leads 11-9. He's just pinched frame 20 on the black. That was certainly a big steal. 13 is the target for victory. On the other table tonight, the 5-time winner Ronnie O'Sullivan is taking on Ding Junhui in the first session of their second round match. O'Sullivan took the opening frame, but the Chinese superstar has hit back to lead 3-1. Earlier today, former champions Mark Selby and Mark Williams both won their matches to reach the quarterfinals.
Cheers, Jamie. Right, we'll be back at the Etihad for second half commentary shortly. Before we do that, what a day it's been at Old Trafford. England had a fantastic final session of the third day to pull themselves right back into contention against Pakistan. Eleanor Oldroyd was watching.
Well, what a day it's been here at Old Trafford. 14 wickets falling in the day. Pakistan lead by 244 runs with 2 wickets left, and England just need to take them quickly in the morning and set up a run chase of probably no more than 270. We'll look ahead to tomorrow in a moment, but let's reflect on today with our cricket correspondent, Jonathan Agnew. Goodness me, that went into fast forward today, didn't it, that game?
Well, it did, and it's one of those where you rather end up scratching your head because Pakistan just seemed nailed on to cement their position and then set England 340, which they wouldn't get in a million years, I don't suppose, and win the game. But then suddenly you look up and England fought back so hard. I thought Chris Woakes bowled brilliantly today, just to get England back in the game, because it's been that sort of catch-up that they've had to play, because obviously they got bowled out cheaply, and so you catch up. But I just thought the way they stuck to it today, Sibley's run out, one-handed swooping in, it's things like that change a game. But for me, if England are to win, and probably the game changer was Stuart Broad's innings, funnily enough, 29 off 25 balls. I don't know why they kept bowling spinners at him, because we know he doesn't like the ball around his nose, but he said thanks very much. And those, just 30 runs in a low-scoring game like this could be all it takes.
He's averaging over 100 this season with the bat, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. Well, look, let's look ahead to tomorrow in a moment, but first of all, we can hear from England's top scorer with 62, Ollie Pope.
Ollie, your reflections after that dramatic day?
Well, I've only just walked off the pitch, but I think that bowling couldn't have gone. It's gone as well as we could have, basically. We bowled really nicely, we backed it up in the field, but frustrating not to get slightly closer to them with the bat, but they bowled nicely this morning, and the wickets offered a little bit for both seam and spin.
How has that wicket been out there? Because it's looked very tough watching on from the commentary boxes.
It's offered for the seamers, as it always does a little bit in England, but I guess it's not your typical English wicket. It's spun from sort of the get-go and bounced quite a lot as well, so it hasn't been easy facing the spin. Obviously they've got their 2 leggies, it's got its challenges, but we're going to have to find a way to cope with that tomorrow and the day after.
The Pakistan bowling attack, is it the variation that makes it such a challenge and such a fearsome prospect?
Yeah, I think they've got a little bit of everything. They've got sort of Abbas with his skills, they've got the pace of the young lad Naseem, and then the left armour as well with Shaheen. So they've got the bases covered, but as it is with any new series, facing new bowlers, once you sort of get used to their style and their action and what they try and do with the ball, things will get easier for us batters.
A word on Joss Buttler. That was a gutsy performance this morning.
Yeah, he played nicely, and he's showing great signs during that whole West Indies series. Batting really nicely at the moment. I think he's sort of found a really good tempo. It's obviously a shame that we couldn't extend that partnership for longer, but no, I think he's playing really nicely at the moment.
You'll have sympathy for the challenges keepers can have, and he's had a tough game, I think it's fair to say, so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy, especially standing up, keeping on that wicket. With that extra spin and bounce, these chances aren't easy. I guess with those nicks, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of will they stick and will they not. I guess if it was a slightly thicker edge, it was going straight to first slip. I got that one in the first dig, but that's keeping. You do need a bit of luck standing up to the stumps, especially on a wicket like this.
A lot of people have said that playing 3 test matches at one venue would be a benefit to England. Has that proved to be the case, or can you get fatigue playing at one ground?
Oh, I don't think. Obviously, we're in pretty strange times at the moment, and these things don't happen a lot. We know what we're dealing with the conditions here is slightly drier up here on the pitches. I wouldn't say fatigue's got much to do with it. We added a nice little 4 days off, and the boys still have a lot of energy. We're still buzzing around in the field at the end there, but hopefully we can just keep extending that throughout this series.
How many do you fancy you can chase down?
Oh, well, as many as they set. I think last summer's shown whatever the target is chaseable. It's not going to be easy on this wicket, but it's definitely manageable with the batters that we got in store.
I thought you might say that. Thanks for your time. Cheers, Ollie.
No worries. Cheers.
Well, that was Ollie Pope with Test Match Specials Henry Moran. So, Jonathan, what happens on what we think will probably be the final day tomorrow?
Yeah, almost certainly, unless the last couple of pairs go berserk. But I think Pakistan will probably win. This is a deteriorating pitch. It's not a pitch that you often see in England, turning so much at the end of the third day, and they have got all their bases covered in the bowling attack, apart from one. They haven't got a spinner who could just hold an end. They've got these two wonderful wrist spinners that do all sorts of amazing things, all sleight of hand and wrong-uns and flippers and stuff. But they haven't got a spinner who can come on and just dry up the scoring rate. So if England can get in, if they can get a pair going, and if they can just get after one of those spinners so that the captain Azhar Ali has to keep getting another seam bowler back in again, that is probably the only way that England will get back into the game, to get after one of those spinners. You can't prod around because you're going to get out if you do that. The ball is spinning and bouncing. But if they can just open up one end, then that does give England a chance. But that's still going to be a tall order on this pitch.
Jonathan, thank you very much indeed. Whatever happens tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. You won't miss a ball on Test Match Special. And don't forget, of course, in-play highlights on the BBC Sport website and app, and then highlights at the end of the day. Pakistan will resume in the morning on 137 for 8, the lead 244 runs.
Thank you, Ellie. Yep, we'll be there 10:15 tomorrow morning on 5 Live Sports Extra. A couple of other sports stories for you. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon says that Aberdeen players blatantly broke the rules in the lead up to Saturday's Scottish Premiership game against St Johnstone, which has now been postponed. 2 players tested positive for COVID-19. 6 others are self-isolating after coming within close proximity in an Aberdeen bar on Saturday. And clubs in League One and League Two have today voted in favour of introducing a salary cap. Limits have been set at £2.5 million for League One and £1.5 million for League Two. Right, we're going to go about 5 miles northwest from Old Trafford. Our focus for the rest of the evening is at the Etihad. Manchester City and Real Madrid. Only one can go to Lisbon for the quarter-finals. Dion Dublin is alongside our correspondent John Murray.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, it's been a fascinating game so far. 1-1 at half-time. Raheem Sterling with the early goal for Manchester City. Benzema heading the equaliser on the night for Real Madrid. Just short of the half hour. Just waiting for the teams to emerge from the tunnel just down to our right. The teams that started the match are Ederson in goal for City, Kyle Walker, Fernandinho, Laporte and Joao Cancelo, the back four for City. Then in midfield, Rodri with Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan getting forward. And then Sterling on the right, Gabriel Jesus on the left, and Phil Foden as the false 9. And the Manchester City players just returning now, the sky blue shirts with the new thin numbers on the back, the black numbers, white shorts, blue socks. Real Madrid will be out shortly, their team, providing they don't make any changes. Courtois in goal. He had one hairy moment at the end of the first half when he very nearly conceded a second after a poor kick out. Back four of Carvajal, Varane, who was culpable for the first goal, Militao playing instead of the suspended Sergio Ramos, and Ferland Mendy at left back, Casemiro with Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, then Eden Hazard on the left, Rodrigo on the right, who set up the equaliser, and Karim Benzema through the middle. No changes at half-time, Dion, it would appear, Dion Dublin?
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that City haven't changed anything. Real probably think that they have to play a little bit quicker in order to get City on the back foot, but they haven't shown any urgency as yet. And it's good that City have held Kroos and Modric to their own half.
Yeah, Sergio Ramos is back in his seat as well. Dion, over to our right. He's on the telephone. He's on the telephone.
Hold it, my phone's ringing. Hold it, my phone's ringing. Hold it.
Surely that must be a "don't ring me now" moment. So the second half about to begin. Beautiful evening, lovely sky above Manchester as well. A pink sunset, and Real Madrid wearing an all-pink kit tonight. And the second half begins. Manchester City send it forward, and down in the Real left-back position, Mendy turns and plays it away. gives possession back to Manchester City, who are playing from right to left in the second half, and De Bruyne goes back into his own half. Among the Manchester City subs this evening is David Silva, and you would think that he would appear at some stage. This would be his final match here at the Etihad Stadium for Manchester City.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, ball played forward down the right-hand side. That's a little poke forward by Kyle Walker. Comes back to Rodri for Manchester City, who lifts it to Sterling, who started on the left-hand side. Sterling into the box against Carvajal. Still Sterling onto his right foot. A packed penalty area, a back heel from him. Cancelo takes it on. Cancelo pulls it across, but pulls it across straight to Varane, who is able to control. And Real Madrid, even from a moment like that, under severe pressure, are passing the ball away from their own defensive third, although Modric's ball to Rodrigo just gives possession back to City.
Yeah, they doubled up on Sterling there. He wanted to come inside and does what he normally does, that little left leg over, then come on the right and curl it.
De Bruyne, oh, what a pass through to Sterling, left foot, shoots wide of the near post from the angle. Oh,
I think that might have been a save.
He got a hand to it.
He might have done.
Courtois, that was some save that he did. What a pass though from De Bruyne.
Oh, the movement as well. Carvajal just switches off. Sterling goes 2 or 3 yards towards the ball in his eye line, then he just sprints in there, and what a great pass as well.
I think it was going wide, but Courtois swished a right arm at it, and it must have caught his fingertips.
Yeah, he has to get something on it. He doesn't know.
Do you think it was going wide?
I don't know. I don't think it was.
Good. Corner then, De Bruyne to take this. Kevin De Bruyne raises his right arm, plays it into the near post, and it's headed up and behind and over by Militao, who went with Rodri and did well.
Yeah, what a corner. I mean, he gets it up and down over that first man with pace and bend and whip. All you got to do is just get something on it.
Nightmare to defend that into a packed 6-yard box. Spanish commentators are in great voice again. De Bruyne plays it into the near post. Courtois dives. It looked as though it was going into the side netting, but he couldn't be sure, and he palmed it away. Now it's hoisted back in by De Bruyne, but Courtois at the back post now is underneath that, and he catches it calmly. Courtois absolutely towering over Gabriel Jesus as he did so.
Doesn't look as comfortable as I would normally expect him to look, Courtois.
He certainly didn't when he kicked the ball straight out. I think it was to De Bruyne, wasn't it, in the first half?
Yeah.
Towards the end of the first half, who set up Foden, who shot wide. So now, start of the second half, Foden's on the right-hand side, Sterling on the left, and it's Jesus who's in the middle. He's keeping Zinedine Zidane on his toes.
Yeah, like I said in the first half, those 3 front players there with Sterling and Foden and Jesus, they all have a part to play. It doesn't matter if it's right, centre or left, they all have a part to play going forward. As long as those areas have been filled, he won't mind.
The ball with Real Madrid at the back, although if you're listening to the Spanish commentators, you'd think they were bearing down on goal with the goalkeeper
oh dear, excellent,
marooned. But Real have it and just knocking it around. Modric now drops deep. He's not really been able to stamp his authority on the game yet, Modric. Long pass forward though, looking for the run of Mendy up from left back, and Walker was underneath it for Manchester City to head it out of play for a throw out there on the left hand side.
Shouldn't be a problem for City, that. If Modric is going to go that deep, he's 5-10 yards away from his own box and he's playing 40-50 yard diagonals. No City defender should get beaten by a ball like that, not in one pass.
No. Now Varane, left-footed ball again, high out towards the left-hand side to Mendy, who touches it back to Toni Kroos on the left-hand side of the midfield. Kroos exchanges passes with Casemiro, but City are quickly around him. It's 1-1 on BBC Radio 5 Live. You just switched on. That's 3-2 on aggregate in the second leg of this last 16 tie in the Champions League. This much delayed last 16 tie. Back it comes to Kroos on his right foot. Kroos flights a pass here, which actually bounces behind Rodrigo, and he does well to keep it in play. The young Brazilian, the teenager, Rodrigo, plays it to Modric, who's appeared on the right-hand side. Modric was looking to cut it back there as the challenge came in from Cancelo. And again, all of the staff down in front of us and the various members of the Manchester City and Real Madrid coaching People are on their feet and applauding as the challenge came in. Juventus have equalised on the night. Juventus won, Lyon won, Ronaldo scored. Almost inevitably, I was waiting for that instruction, and it came. So that is 2-1 to Lyon on aggregate. Here is Modric, Luka Modric, square to Kroos. Kroos now up to Benzema, who's dropped a little deep. He's 30 yards from goal. He uses Mendy on the left-hand side, then back to Kroos, and in that Toni Kroos way, with his arms wide, whirling, gives it to Carvajal, who curls the ball into the penalty area with the outside of his right boot, but that was headed down and away by Rodri. And then Varane is able to deflect the ball out of play ahead of Sterling for a throw-in to Manchester City.
Yeah, seems to be a bit more urgency. Second half from Real Madrid. We've been, for the last 2 or 3 minutes, we've been City's half. They've taken control of the game early on in the second half, playing the ball a bit quicker, with purpose.
And Ferland Mendy was just caught by Gabriel Jesus, so it's a free kick to Real Madrid just inside their own half. So 1-1 on the night. We'll have more Champions League commentary tomorrow night. Bayern Munich against Chelsea. The second leg there with Chelsea, of course, 3-0 down. Ian Dennis and Rob Green will have that for you. 8 o'clock on a Saturday night as Real Madrid with Casemiro played square towards Modric. Modric now on his left foot chips a pass to the right-hand side where it's taken down by Rodrigo, who is, well, he runs into Joao Cancelo, and Rodrigo was looking to the referee, Felix Brig, for a free kick, and he said nope. The ball ran away, and it's a goal kick to Manchester City.
The referee, Mr. Brick, let me tell you, he's actually letting so much go, and I think it's really refreshing to see. There's some coming together, there's some shoulder barging, and there's no real huge fouls. On the edge maybe, but he's not getting fooled whatsoever by anybody.
Gundogan now, centre field. Gundogan to Phil Foden, who turns and lifts the ball. Walker arriving, but he can't pull it down. It bounced over his head and out of play for a throw into Real, halfway inside their own half. So 1-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. Finally poised, but City just edging it. Real take the throw and play the ball across the back line. Varane rolls the pass forward into the path of the bearded Carvajal, who's over the halfway line. Carvajal, and then infield towards Kroos, now to the left hand side, and Eden Hazard is there. Hazard cuts back onto his right foot. The former Chelsea man gives it to Toni Kroos, who looks up, shoots, might even have hit Benzema, his own man, on the edge of the penalty area, and bounces away and out for a throw here on the right hand side. Now it must have been a City player, yeah. Fernandinho it was, to throw into Real.
So much better from Real there. Carvajal playing it into Kroos. Kroos goes wide to Mendy. Mendy gives it back to Kroos. 4 or 5 passes, and they get a shot on goal. So much better.
In the Bernabeu, 163 days ago, Real Madrid took the lead when Isco scored. He's among the substitutes this evening. But then Manchester City turned it around on the night with 2 goals in the last 15 minutes. The Jesus header and the Kevin De Bruyne penalty. Casemiro's given it away inside his own half, passed it straight to Foden. Foden now approaching the penalty area, plays it square to Gundogan. He puts in Sterling up against Courtois, and Courtois with the blocking save. And it's a goal kick. It bounced back onto Sterling.
Yeah, that's great positional play from City. A loose pass from Real, and 1 or 2. It was so many times they could have passed the ball to Sterling. Took so long. Great overlap from De Bruyne as well. I think Foden picked the wrong pass at the wrong time at that specific moment.
And Gundogan was in quite a good position himself. And
yeah, they got that wrong, completely wrong there.
Yeah, real opening that, not taken. And now it is Real Madrid with Benzema cutting in from the left-hand side and hitting a right foot shot that flies away high and wide into the stand behind.
Yeah, even though Real haven't been at their best, if you do get chances like City have just had, they have to take them. Benzema on this occasion actually receiving the ball on the left wing. I'm just seeing the replay here of City getting the ball back. Really, Foden's bearing down right on the corner of the D. I think he could have gone to David De Bruyne to the right hand side. They tried to get it to Sterling, they got it completely wrong.
So the chance came and went. Another save for Courtois though, as the ball is allowed to bounce out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City down here on the left wing. Cancelo coming up to take it, Joao Cancelo. He also just wipes his brow. Warm night here in Manchester. Cancelo to take it's almost up level with the edge of the Real Madrid penalty area. Cancelo looking for a run from Gabriel Jesus. Sterling comes short. Sterling back to Cancelo. Goes to his left, then to his right. Flicks it infield towards Sterling, but Sterling has Varane in front of him. It's cleared away, comes back to Gundogan. De Bruyne just outside the box, turns away from the penalty area. Applause as he passes it all the way back to Laporte, who's actually 10 yards inside Real Madrid territory. As City play from right to left. Ball played to Gabriel Jesus just outside the penalty area. Back then to Cancelo. Now Rodri. Kyle Walker wants it and gets it and plays it to the right-hand side. Phil Foden is out there. Back to Walker. Foden dropping a little deeper and using Walker again, and Walker cuts inside of Toni Kroos, but then this City attack comes to nothing and Real Madrid are able to take possession back. Modric and Casemiro very nearly lost it together. Ball bounced back and Varane had to be careful to see it all the way to Courtois behind him. 1-1 on the night, 3-2 to Manchester City on aggregate. And applause for Kyle Walker's safe header back to goalkeeper Ederson.
It's like they've got a crowd in front of us.
Yeah.
There must be, 30, 40 members of staff and sub of Man City, and they are cheering everything.
Yeah, this is the closest we've had to having a little bit of a crowd inside the ground. And actually, Dion, gives you an idea of even if a small crowd was allowed back into stadiums when everyone's safe. Gundogan playing the ball through the middle to De Bruyne. De Bruyne with two defenders, tries to slide the shot in. Carvajal came across and the deflection was off the Real Madrid right back, and it's a corner which carried it wide.
Yeah, great play from Carvajal there. Him and Militao making sure that De Bruyne doesn't get that shot off with his right foot. Both sliding in there. Good defensive challenge there. Just took the ball off of De Bruyne's toe, and that should have been a goal kick. Actually, last touch, De Bruyne.
Yeah, the thing is, the referee, you would never know, would you? I mean, everyone's appealing, and it's so tough to call. But it's a bonus corner for Manchester City. De Bruyne plays it in. A little glance from Rodri at the near post, which glanced straight into Benzema, and then bounced out of play out there on the right-hand side for a throw-in that Walker's going to come up to take. Suddenly, there's a bit of silence. What's happened to the Spanish commentator?
Where's he gone?
They've been,
no, he's back.
They've been struck dumb there.
He's back.
I think that actually has added to the atmosphere as well. With that going on, they're just in front of us, who are just behind all of the Manchester City substitutes. So I think they are sort of responding to the Spanish commentary as well. 1-1 on the night, 3-2 to Manchester City. We've got just over half an hour to play. Obviously tonight there is the possibility of extra time, possibility of penalties were it to finish 2-1 to Real Madrid. Manchester City, well, they've both been able to create chances, such as the talent and skill that's out there, as you'd expect. Here's Walker down the right-hand side, gives it back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne whips a ball in low into the penalty area, cleared away by Varane, chested away by Modric, but chested straight to Rodri. Now De Bruyne again, tried a little ball into the penalty area, that was cut out by Mendy for Real Madrid, and then the ball won back well by Cancelo. Sterling approaching the penalty area onto his right foot, and then Modric was there in front of De Bruyne on the edge of the penalty area. Good defending from Real Madrid, good play from Manchester City. Now Cancelo on the left-hand side. Cancelo lifts the ball over his own head, but Carvajal was quick, got back to the other side of Cancelo, and then doesn't win the free kick. Felix Brick says play on. Cancelo seemed to be all over the back of him, but Real Madrid have been able to work it away to Benzema. This is good pressure from Manchester City. The question is whether Real Madrid are going to crack here or not.
There hasn't been many free kicks at all, and not many stoppages at all. The referee does let it go. It's really good to see. Lots of coming together, but he's just waving his arms as if to say, get on with it. Let's keep the game going.
Yeah. That's Dion Dublin, Premier League Golden Boot winner, here with us inside the Etihad Stadium, watching Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. And because of that 2-1 win for City in the first leg at the end of February, City are edging it. We're going to see the first change. Real Madrid are going to make a substitution shortly. But City in possession. Here's Foden cutting in from the right-hand side. The ball breaks through to De Bruyne, out right side of the box. Plays it across, took a deflection, but no one in the middle in the 6-yard box could get a touch. And the ball ran through for a throw into Manchester City down the left-hand side.
Yes, just on his heels there, Sterling. I think the deflection took it away from him.
Off Militao. Cancelo is going to try and play it in. It was blocked by Modric. Comes back to Joao Cancelo. Little ball to Gundogan, but past him and beyond and through for a goal kick. And I think we're going to see this change now. And it's Marco Asensio who's coming on, the Spanish international winger, who actually missed a great deal of this season with a knee injury that he sustained in the pre-season for season 19-20 when he was playing Arsenal in a friendly match, and he's going to replace Rodrigo. So that looks like a straight swap. Marco Asensio, who's actually done well since the restart, 3 goals in 9 appearances in the last 10 league matches of the season. So in form, and he's in, and he's on, and he's playing where Rodrigo was on the right-hand side up front, as Gabriel Jesus concedes a free kick for a foul on Casemiro.
I think City have got to take the chance to get another goal and just get that little bit of daylight in between them and Real, because they will press, they will probe, and something from Modric or Toni Kroos could really hurt City.
Fernandinho with a header away, but Benzema was coming back from an offside position. Warm evening. A colleague of ours, Dania, has been in touch with me to tell me that she's bought an ice cream in Burnage, and the ice cream man in Burnage was listening to our commentary.
Oh, good man.
Ball played forward by Kroos to Benzema. Benzema on the edge of the area. He's in here, but the shot is deflected away by the recovering Laporte, who was able to block it with his shins, and it took it well wide to the right and out for a throw-in, actually, which is taken quickly by Carvajal. Carvajal to Modric, and then back towards the halfway line, where Varane is able to give it to Militao. But Gabriel Jesus working hard. That's how Pep Guardiola likes his forward players to play. Forces Varane to turn and give it all the way back to Courtois. And then the long pass over the top. But Laporte was underneath that. Laporte's been very measured this evening. Modric gets his foot to it ahead of Sterling, and the ball bounces out of play just down to our left for a throw-in for Manchester City. There's really very little between them.
Yeah, there is, and if you do get chances, you have to take them. I think, the only beauty of this is that the two playmakers for Real haven't really had time on the ball that they normally like. Sterling and Jesus have worked so hard. De Bruyne is playing those passes that he does, but they do have to score another goal. I really feel that Real, if given too many chances, they will score. And we haven't seen much of Hazard either.
I was just going to say, Dion, Hazard in possession now, was just tripped actually, wins a free kick. I'm not sure I've mentioned his name in the second half until now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure.
Kroos, ball over the top to Marco Asensio, the awkward bouncing ball. He's managed to work it to Benzema on his right foot. Benzema shoots straight at Ederson, who's able to gather the ball and hold it into his chest. And Sergio Ramos and the rest of the Real Madrid people to our right were all up on their feet, but Ederson saves.
Yeah, he didn't set it out far enough. He actually dropped his shoulder, put on his right foot, and there was a big gaping top right-hand corner there over Ederson's left shoulder where he could have put that, but far too close to Ederson. Not a problem.
Kroos, Real threatening again. Benzema trying to play through to Hazard, but that was cut out by Fernandinho. Hazard through the middle, but he has been extremely quiet. Eden Hazard just hasn't seen enough of the ball really on the left-hand side, as Gabriel Jesus puts in a challenge, but the ball bounces for Real Madrid, and back it goes to Courtois. I mean, at any given time in footballing history, Real Madrid have plenty of options, as Modric rather carelessly puts the ball out of play. You don't see that too often. And Juventus have now gone 2-1 up on the night. That is 2-2 on aggregate, but Lyon are in front on the away goals rule, and Ronaldo scored his second goal of the night. By the way, the commentary will be underway on the second round of the USPGA Championship Golf right now on 5 Live Sports Extra. Ian Carter and Sarah Mulkerrans alongside Anthony Wall. Here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne now into the penalty area. A turn by Gabriel Jesus, and the shot is saved by Courtois, who did well to push it up and over. The shot on the twist from Jesus.
Yeah, great little play. De Bruyne seems to put the ball in the right place at the right time. Gundogan's running towards the Real Madrid box. He gets to the edge of the D. He doesn't even take a touch. He just uses the outside of his right boot, puts it in the path of Jesus. Jesus touch, turn, strike. And he catches actually Courtois off guard, but it's a great save. Corner, in swing again.
Close-ish to him, but he had to. It was hit well and firm. Corner then. De Bruyne swings it in low this time, and that's cleared away by Benzema at the near post. Still Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 1. Bernardo Silva is going to be the first Manchester City substitute to come onto the field. City with the ball in the centre circle. Walker passed that ball a long way up towards Gabriel Jesus, who had that most recent chance. But Courtois' saves are beginning to rack up. It's what Pep Guardiola said when he spoke to us in the media yesterday. He said we want to prove what good form Courtois has been in this season by making him have to make saves, and that's what they did there. Here's Varane turning and clearing it away. Carvajal with a touch deflects it out of play. More Manchester City applause in front of us, and it's going to be Phil Foden who will make way for Bernardo Silva, having played the false 9 in the first half and on the right hand side in the second. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, less effective I think out on the right hand side. I think down the middle he was elusive to the Real Madrid defenders. They couldn't get close to him. He was picking passes, making good runs on the right hand side. Didn't seem to have the same effect. Now he comes off, and we've got another world class player coming on in Bernardo Silva. I still believe that City need a goal,
because there is that threat that Real will get one at the other end. A little layoff from Gabriel Jesus is too far ahead of Cancelo and bounces out of play for a throw into Real Madrid.
Yeah, they can't do that. They can't get sloppy. A little bounce pass from Jesus into Gundogan cannot go out for a throw-in.
Real take the throw up the line, but Rodri is there. Played infield by Gundogan. Bernardo Silva gets his first touch of the match. The ball finds its way back towards the halfway line, and then Bernardo Silva sprints out towards the right. That is where he's taken up his position. Phil Foden just sitting down in front of us. He's not put his tracksuit top or whatever it is on yet. You certainly won't need that on a night like this. And Manchester City playing the ball back to Ederson. Could probably do with one of those ice creams from Burnage. Cancelo playing the ball infield. And then Rodri with a high ball over the top. Varane rather misjudged that. And then Gabriel Jesus is in to poke the ball from an angle past Courtois and into the net. And Manchester City have scored a second goal on the night and have a 2-goal advantage again. And yet again, it is Real Madrid carelessness and Rafael Varane who's been caught out. 2-1 on the night to Manchester City, 4-2 on aggregate.
Yeah, that's the mistake you cannot make. Jesus is bearing down on Varane. The ball's in the air, it's coming down with snow on it. Varane gets it wrong, he doesn't head it the first time, doesn't deal with it the second time, tries to get back to his keeper. Jesus is on his shoulder all the time, waiting for that mistake. The ball gets played back to the keeper. Jesus' pace is outstanding, gets onto the ball, puts it away brilliantly with his left foot. Great finish, great hard work. That's the reward you get when you work hard.
What a good finish that is. I mean, he had a millisecond there, Dion.
Yeah, he had to get there. His pace off the mark was outstanding. Got there before Courtois, steered it round the keeper, and I was right behind it. I see there's a little bit of spin on it, and it spun right in the centre of the goal. He deserved that because he's worked hard tonight, Jesus. And that's the goal I was talking about.
Two strange goals for Real Madrid to concede in a match like this.
But it's sloppy. You cannot be sloppy in games like this.
So Real Madrid right up against it now. Manchester City with a 2-goal advantage, but Carvajal and now Marco Asensio back towards Carvajal, who turns, gives it back to Asensio. A left-footed ball curling in. Ederson leaps, gets a hand to it. Benzema pulls it down. Benzema near the dead ball line. He plays it back towards Modric. He takes it down and shoots from the angle. That's blocked by Ederson, and Manchester City are able to clear, and De Bruyne will carry it away. De Bruyne has a little look. There was an option of Gabriel Jesus, but he's decided just to keep possession and keep it inside the Manchester City half, rather than going gung-ho with a 2-goal advantage.
Yeah, he had every opportunity there, De Bruyne, to try and put his team on the break, but he didn't. He kept it. Very good gameplay.
Real Madrid trying to find a quick response here. Asensio now to Carvajal on the right-hand side. Carvajal's ball across, takes a deflection and bounces back, and Ederson is able to take possession of the ball.
Yeah, they did that last time, Real Madrid. They conceded a goal, they came out flying, they tried to get the ball in the box early. Conceding another goal, they do exactly the same, and then they go slow. And then they play slow, and then they get caught.
So the ball in the hands of Ederson. Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 1. So 4-2 on aggregate now to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. And now Jesus is able to give it to Sterling, and Sterling plays it across to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva right side of the box, twisting onto his left foot, shoots, and it's deflected wide and behind by Varane, and it's a corner to Manchester City. And there were openings there again for Manchester City.
Oh, absolutely all over the place. That little ping from Ederson straight down the middle of the pitch. It bounced 3 or 4 times. It got to Jesus, puts it round the corner to Sterling, and City have another chance because Real Madrid's defenders are all over the place.
They are, Manchester City, as they do, just keeping their foot on the accelerator pedal, even though they've got the 2-goal advantage back again. De Bruyne to take this corner, to be an outswinger from the right-hand side. De Bruyne high towards the back post, and the twisting header, actually it was just a glance really from Jesus. It's kept in though by Cancelo on the left-hand side, back to Bernardo Silva, and then Kyle Walker, go back to Fernandinho in the centre circle. Bernardo Silva's calling for it down here, but Kyle Walker on the halfway line just plays it forward through the middle to Gundogan, and Gundogan rolls a pass to Joao Cancelo, who knocks it through into the penalty area to Sterling, and Sterling now into the box. Oh, surely he was caught by Carvajal. Referee Brick says no. He waves away the appeals. That looked like Sterling was caught by Carvajal, just like the first leg in the Bernabeu. Here's Bernardo Silva just outside the box. Now De Bruyne, it comes back. Kyle Walker's going to try a shot. Courtois goes down, pushes it away, wide of goal, into the full-back position. Gundogan, with a naked eye, Dion, I have to say that looked like there was every chance it was a penalty.
Surely that was a definite penalty. We haven't had a chance to see a replay yet, but Sterling's not going to go down 8 yards out on the angle when he has a chance to score.
Not big protests when it wasn't given by the players out there, I would say, as the ball's played forward. And on our little television screens here, they might show it again. No, not yet. Real Madrid have got the ball on the edge of their own penalty area, and when Real Madrid have got the ball there, if you're a television director, don't want to be showing action replay.
They don't look comfortable. None of the players seem to want the ball. If you are playing out from the back, you have to have so much movement.
Varane in possession. Courtois gave it to him, played it up towards Benzema, and the touch from Asensio just carries the ball out of play. And little things like that make you feel like it's Manchester City's night.
And that's Carvajal not wanting to get forward too quickly because he feels that Sterling and Jesus are such a problem. I'm going to have to stay here.
Throw in for Manchester City. I think the 9:30 at Girona is just underway. Lucky lad is going to win it.
Oh dear.
Here's Kyle Walker on the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva down the right. Then back towards the halfway line. And then Kevin De Bruyne to Bernardo Silva. And City now just slowing it down if they can. 2-1 on the night to Manchester City. 4-2 on aggregate. And with the scores as they are, as Jesus is caught offside with the ball over the top, it's going to be Manchester City against Lyon in the quarter-final. The one-off match, remember, not 2 legs in the quarter-finals in this mini tournament for the Champions League. And that match would be played on Saturday night as the ball is played across by Carvajal to Courtois. He had to be quick, and Jesus wasn't far away. Manchester City, as a result, have got the ball back. Bernardo Silva just goes back and then further back towards Rodri near the centre circle. Rodri, former Atletico Madrid man, here against Real, holds off a couple of challenges from Toni Kroos. And then De Bruyne back to Bernardo Silva, who is another former Benfica man, be going back to Lisbon. Long ball to the edge of the penalty area. Varane heads it down. Carvajal pokes it across. Militao passes it out. Asensio passes it forward. Kroos. Oh, in comes the challenge there from Kyle Walker.
Good challenge
on Kroos. He knew all about that. And Manchester City with Sterling to Cancelo. Cancelo into the box now, going one way then the other against Carvajal, and then the challenge from Casemiro, who passes it up towards Benzema. Kroos is almost caught in possession, this time by Bernardo Silva, but was able to hold it off, and Kroos just goes down and feels his right shin. I think that might have been a legacy of the Kyle Walker challenge. But 15 minutes to play. Things looking good for Manchester City to reach the tournament in Lisbon, the finals tournament that we have, this special tournament as a result of the pandemic. Gabriel Jesus still going and will have a shot, but sends it flying way over the top of the bar, and it rolls across the canvases, over the seats, and right to the back of the lower tier of the stand.
I'm just not convinced with Real at all. Incredibly sloppy in possession. Courtois looks so nervous, and his two centre halves, Militao and Varane, aren't helping him with the ball that they're giving him. No, there's no, the ball's at Courtois' feet now in the 6-yard box, and there's no movement for him in front of him. He's got one option.
Real Madrid would have to score 2 goals without reply, and were that to be the case, that would be 4-4, and Real Madrid would be in front on the away goals rule. But Manchester City have the 2-goal cushion. City 4-2 up on aggregate, 2-1 on the night. Kroos. We're in the last 15 minutes, as I say, of this second leg. Asensio now on the right-hand side.
I think the other race has just started.
Taking commentaries from 2 different racetracks tonight. Here's Ferland Mendy on the left-hand side. Back it comes towards Benzema. Benzema, scorer of the Real Madrid goal this evening. Modric twisting. And it's such a feature of the game that Eden Hazard, who has had this injury hit first season at Real Madrid, has simply not been in the game. Here is Carvajal on the right-hand side. Carvajal left-footed ball across. Kroos just outside the area. Kroos lays it off to Casemiro. Casemiro then curls the ball in towards Benzema, but that's headed up and away by Kyle Walker, who just got there in time. Full stretch that was. Benzema allows the ball to roll and bounce towards the left-hand side. Benzema still going. Little flick from him to Mendy, and then Bernardo Silva is able to work it out against them for a corner to Real.
Yeah, they just can't get that opening at the moment. Real, the ball's not falling to them in the right areas. City are working so hard. They're just getting something on it, City, so it doesn't fall to a pink shirt of Real, working incredibly hard, very organised.
After what happened, Dion, in those Champions League games in the knockout stages last season, I'm not counting any chickens. Here comes the corner, comes off the head of Laporte, and will be kept in near the corner flag and cleared away by Kyle Walker, who gets a rapturous round of applause. Indeed, I think that's Benjamin Mendy just down there to our right, who's suspended for this game, who's on his feet, cheering and calling Manchester City to get out after that clearance from Kyle Walker.
I mean, I just see Hazard there just flick the ball around the corner to Toni Kroos, and I haven't seen once. Hazard is at his best when he's in the middle third, final third, passing the ball, running forward, passing the ball, running forward. I haven't seen him do that once in the game. I don't think he's fit.
No, he really doesn't look absolutely, which is totally understandable after what hamstring injury, fractured ankle, and then an injured fibula as well. And just wondering what's going on to our right. Just 1 or 2 people standing up, but I think it's all under control. Everything's okay. Bernardo Silva's got the ball and is going to play it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Does make you wonder though, Dion, you've got a talent like Gareth Bale and James Rodriguez, who, for whatever reason, there's obviously things are not going smoothly, have been considered surplus to requirements.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything to do with football, to be honest with you. It's personality clashes, I think.
Mendy playing the ball back into his own half. We've got 10 minutes to go. Manchester City 10 minutes away from knocking out Real Madrid. Asensio, as Real go searching for these 2 goals that they need. They need 2 without reply to turn this tie around. Casemiro to Militao. Now Mendy on the left-hand side. But Manchester City have got everyone behind the ball. This might be this might be the way that the die is cast for the remainder of the match. Real Madrid trying to find their way through. Manchester City threatening on the counter. Kevin De Bruyne is tripped there by Luka Modric, who is going to be shown a yellow card, and that would be Modric out of the quarter-final if Real Madrid were able to find a way through.
Clever play that from De Bruyne, just making Modric hang out a leg, keeping the possession for his team, taking the pressure off. I think that's sterling enough, isn't it?
It is, and here comes David Silva. David Silva warmly applauded on by those inside the stadium behind closed doors, making now his final appearance for Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium.
You've got to have some squad if David Silva's on your bench. You've got to have some very good players if he's on your bench.
So David Silva takes up a position, gets an early touch here, and then receives the ball back in the Real Madrid right back position and carries the ball out towards the corner flag, and he's holding off Carvajal, who seems to be all over his back. Indeed, David Silva's shirt is halfway up his back, but no free kick from Dr. Brick.
Yes, come on, Doctor.
Yeah. And
that was clear.
A poor clearance. Gundogan plays it back. David Silva's in, still going. David Silva, the ball runs away from him at the crucial moment and is cleared away to comparative safety by Militao. And look at Modric now, he's bundled over by Cancelo, it seemed, but the referee's allowed advantage to play. Not sure there will be one. Walker is in there to win the ball ahead of Eden Hazard. Zinedine Zidane's going to make a triple change now for the final 9 minutes or so of the match that are left. Asensio centrally, Marco Asensio playing it through. Casemiro stretching, couldn't do anything in terms of giving it back to Asensio, and Ederson has the ball and will pick it up now. Next time the ball goes out, a triple change. By the way, David Silva coming on here 10 years to the day since he made his first appearance here in a friendly match against Valencia.
Wow.
So 10 years of David Silva, and he's on for what looks like, without wishing to tempt fate, the final moments of what would be a great success for Manchester City to knock out Real Madrid. Right, who are they going to take off? Carvajal is being replaced by Lucas Vazquez. Luka Modric is off as well, and it's Federico Valverde, the Uruguayan international, who's going to come on into the midfield for him. And the final change will see Luka Jovic, the young Serbian international forward, coming on for Eden Hazard, who has been not much more than anonymous this evening, Eden Hazard. And as Dion Dublin has said, he actually gets a double hand slap from Zinedine Zidane, walks off with his head bowed there. He would have wanted a better return to England than he's managed tonight, but I think his injuries really have forced the issue.
Yeah, they've hindered him tonight.
So a triple change for Real Madrid. Let's see if it can work wonders for Zinedine Zidane. Manchester City leading Real Madrid by 2-1. So it's 4-2 to City on aggregate, and we've got just over 6 minutes to play. It is still Juventus 2, Lyon 1 in the other match tonight, the other second leg, which is 2-2 on aggregate, and Lyon are going through on the away goals rule. Lyon would be Manchester City's opponents a week tomorrow. You would hear that, by the way, on 5 Live, that Manchester City match. Indeed, after this, I should tell you, our Champions League and Europa League coverage is going to be a little different because of the current COVID restrictions. We will be providing commentaries from the 5 Live studios instead of at the matches because of the restrictions, starting tomorrow night with Bayern Munich against Chelsea from 8 o'clock on 5 Live tomorrow evening. But here inside the Etihad, it's shaping up to be a very good night for Manchester City, who won the first leg 2-1 and are winning the second leg 2-1 against the 13 times European champions. Indeed, winners 4 times in the last 6 seasons. And here's De Bruyne, who's carrying the ball on towards the edge of the area. Might have been fouled by Kroos. Bernardo Silva chips it across, and the referee, I think, has brought it back for the free kick, just as Bernardo Silva was about to cross.
Yeah, I think he just put that ball into the box. I think the referee allowed him to do that. There was nobody in the box really that was any danger for City, and pulled it all the way back for the push on De Bruyne.
Good refereeing, that.
Yeah, it was good refereeing, actually. It's sort of 5 yards away from the corner of the D.
Who's going to take this, Dion?
Yes, well, I would just step away and leave. You know what? Tonight, I'd leave David Silva.
Yeah, I think it's. Unless they're going to try and fool all of us.
Yes.
De Bruyne is there as well, but David Silva, we're in the last 5 minutes of his career as a Manchester City player at the Etihad Stadium. Now, De Bruyne is lining this up as though he is going to take it, but David Silva is to the right of the ball. He's in decent free kick form, David Silva, and it will be David Silva with the free kick that he curls over the wall, but over the crossbar as well by a foot and a half.
Wow, wasn't too far away at all as I look at the replay here on my little screen. And no, Courtois was getting nowhere near that. A couple of yards over the bar on this occasion. Wasn't far away.
It was not far away. Manchester City 2-1 up, 4-2 on aggregate. Real Madrid need to score twice without reply. Here's Benzema on the left-hand side. Mendy with the cross. Oh, Laporte got up brilliantly to head it down and away. That was magnificent defensive play from Laporte.
Very, very good defensive header. He knew there was danger in front and behind him. Had to be strong, had to get it right.
He's been excellent tonight. He's brought a real composure to Manchester City this evening. You know, they've had Laporte, City, and Real Madrid have missed Sergio Ramos so much. He's done all he could. Ramos in the stands, travelling with the team even though he was suspended, but defensive mistakes from Varane, who has such a great reputation. Here's Cancelo carrying the ball in from the left hand side. Another goal for City now would definitely send them through to the quarter-finals and send Real Madrid out. De Bruyne, middle of the half. De Bruyne rolls it across to Bernardo Silva. Got just over 3 minutes plus added time to play. Pep Guardiola still looks nervous down there, all in beige and brown. Bernardo Silva weaving one way and the other, finds Gundogan, who's played every minute in the Champions League this season. Ilkay Gundogan back more centrally to Cancelo, then Gundogan again, and then Cancelo back towards the halfway line. And City frustrating Real Madrid by keeping possession, and Rodri holding off the challenge from Kroos, who I think was just caught there by Kroos's boot, maybe on his toe end, something like that, and he's gone down. Oh, it's cramped, is it?
Cramp, it is.
Yeah, and they're pulling the shin pad out, Gabriel Jesus, and he is being treated, so a little stoppage here. So 2-1 Manchester City lead. Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus, the goal scorers, but errors from Varane for both of them. And the second one, I mean, it was a sort of moonball pass, wasn't it? High up and bounced. He allowed it to bounce. He missed his header, and then on the edge of the area just poked it back. Varane trying to pass it back to Courtois, but Jesus was in like a flash, and from a tight angle managed to get his shot on target, and it bounced into the back of the net. And it looks like that is going to be the decisive goal unless Real Madrid absolutely come up with something sensational.
Yeah, you have to deal with that as a defender. You know, it's the first rule of defending. Don't let the ball bounce, clear it, deal with it. If you don't do it the first time, do it the second time. He did neither. Looked so nervous. The back four, back three, the keeper, everybody's looked nervous. Real Madrid
going to make a change now, and actually Rodri with the cramp comes off, shakes his head.
I've got to say, John, he's been brilliant tonight, Rodri. Absolutely fantastic. Sat in front of the back two, bit of protection. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, against that excellent midfield three, Casemiro and Kroos and Modric. So Otamendi is on, and Nicolas Otamendi, as Kroos plays the ball towards the left-hand side to Mendy. We've got just over a minute of the 90 to play. Manchester City are heading through, but Kroos with a pass towards the back post from the angle. That is very cleverly shepherded out by Joao Cancelo. Even though the slide was coming in from Marco Asensio, it was through for a goal kick.
You'd actually think that Pep was down. You know, his team were down by 3 goals. He's shouting, he's on his haunches, he's pointing, he's rubbing the sweat from his brow, and he's so animated, making sure everything's done to the letter.
Fernandinho stepped forward into midfield after Rodri has gone off. So Otamendi in there alongside Aymeric Laporte. Yeah, he does, but you know, strikes me as as someone who, has seen enough in football, Pep Guardiola, to never say it's over until the final whistle goes. Mendy playing the ball back towards Courtois. We can be a lot more comfortable watching up here. Courtois lifts the ball and it bounces out of play. Zinedine Zidane comes across. There are 4 minutes of added time. So with a scoreline of Manchester City 2, Real Madrid 1, City lead 4-2 on aggregate. And if Real Madrid are going to turn this around, they will have to score 2 goals in added time without reply. And we're already well into the 4 minutes. We're eating into those final seconds. De Bruyne plays it to the right to Bernardo Silva. Be one of Manchester City's finest European results, one of their finest European performances, if they're able to beat Real Madrid twice over the 2 legs, having never beaten them before in relatively few competitive meetings. But City lose possession. Guardiola's furious at that. The ball breaks forward, but Otamendi is able to get his first touch and turn it back to Ederson, with Luka Jovic being the closest to it for Real Madrid. Then a long one forward towards Jesus. David Silva steps in and his yellow and pink boots. David Silva, at the age of 34, Silva gets it back again, uses Joao Cancelo, and then Silva, with a misplaced pass, gives it to Jovic. And Jovic in the centre circle with his left foot finds Benzema on the left wing, but Benzema is challenged by Bernardo Silva, and Manchester City are able to win the ball back. David Silva now inside his own half is able to play it back to Laporte on the edge of the box, and then it's hoisted forward by De Bruyne, but Bernardo Silva was in an offside position even if the ball hadn't bounced out of play for a throw. Just over 2 minutes to play. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, it's incredibly impressive that City, they play the same way all the time, and when they need to raise their game, play in the same way, but the levels of quality have gone up tonight. The levels of professionalism have gone up tonight. The organisation's gone up a notch tonight.
City just playing the ball back to goalkeeper Ederson. The commentary on the USPGA Golf continues on 5 Live Sports Extra, by the way. We'll be on air till 10:30 tonight. We'll try and get you some reaction. 5 Live Sport on air tomorrow from 12 with Eleanor Oldroyd at Old Trafford. Test match special back on Sports Extra in the morning. And we'll have all of the action from Silverstone, the matches in the Premiership, and as I say, commentary on Bayern Munich, Chelsea tomorrow night. But Manchester City now just a few seconds away from victory again over Real Madrid, heading for 2 wins out of 2 over the 2 legs. De Bruyne just taking the ball towards the corner flag and then turning and playing it back up the line, and he was actually bundled off the field and has landed almost in the lap of one of the photographers down there next to the advertising hoardings, but he's okay. He's back on his feet. Real Madrid fire it forward, but no one in a pink shirt will reach that. And it is Ederson, the Manchester City goalkeeper, who just very casually and coolly allows the ball to roll back into his own penalty area, and at the very last moment, just as Jovic gets there, will pick it up. Important saves from him, Dion, in the first half, from Benzema and from Hazard as well.
Yeah, just very composed, taking the pressure off his team. It looks like he's had a shot there on goal. And as soon as he kicked the ball that far,
he's larruped it downfield, and it bounces out of play to Courtois at the other end. Courtois spins the ball down. Zinedine Zidane is going to have to account for another last 16 exit for Real Madrid for the second consecutive season. They were one of the victims of Ajax last season, if you remember. A real shock as Bernardo Silva plays it forward down into the full-back position. Gabriel Jesus, scorer of goals in both legs. That'll do his stock and his confidence the world of good, I'm sure. He plays it back towards Bernardo Silva. Now Laporte, just seconds left. Felix Brych has a look, and there is the final whistle. And Manchester City have knocked out the kings of Europe, as Pep Guardiola called them. He walks across and just gives a little bump of the fists to Zinedine Zidane, who walks away. But what a victory for Manchester City. They've beaten Real Madrid, the record 13 times European champions, both away and at home, by 2-1, and they've been worthy winners too. And they'll go to Lisbon for the mini tournament to finish off the Champions League this season. Dion Dublin.
You know what, if I didn't know this game was Man City versus Real Madrid, I would never have said that was a Real Madrid side, a Real Madrid performance. Not good enough, very, very sloppy, not enough energy. Kroos and Modric not playing the game in the right areas. Man City tonight, professional performance, game management. The way that he set up his team tonight, Pep Guardiola, was absolutely spot on. And everybody in a light blue shirt tonight, and that was sat in the stands, got it spot on.
Pep Guardiola's thrilled with this one, Dion. You can see that, the way he's reacting with his assistant. Hugs down there, his new coach, Juanma Leo, who's not been around for very long. Big smiles, big congratulations. And actually, just as he turns away, he sees Eden Hazard arriving there and puts an arm on the back. But Manchester City, they know that this is some achievement. Talking about coming of age in the Champions League, well, beating Real Madrid twice helps, certainly.
Yeah, and see David Luiz there, the camera's right in his face, thumbs up to the cameras.
Yeah,
high fives as
farewell to the Etihad for David Silva, who's leaving the field now. Played a little part towards the end of the match, and that's the last we'll see him of him, Dion, here at the Etihad in a Manchester City shirt.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure watching him play. Absolute top-notch, world-class player. Rolls-Royce, absolute Rolls-Royce. City were great tonight. They deserve the win, and deserve to go through.
Rolls-Royce, what do you call those little cars? Rolls-Royce?
Yeah, the two-door one.
Two-door Rolls-Royce.
Yes. Is that the one you've got, the two-door, John?
Yeah, maybe one day. Anyway, what night for Manchester City. Winners tonight by 2-1 against Real Madrid, and they're through 4-2 on aggregate.
What a night for Manchester City. You can hear the sounds of the Etihad Stadium through to the final 8 of the Champions League after a 2-1 win over Real Madrid at the Etihad Stadium. 4-2 aggregate over the two legs. They will play Lyon in the quarter-final in Lisbon. We'll have commentary on 5 Live Sport next Saturday night from 8 p.m. With us, we have the former Manchester City midfielder, Sean Wright-Phillips. I saw you punch in the air on the full-time whistle, Sean.
Yeah, I'm delighted for the boys that they worked hard, and for me, they dominated the game. I feel Real Madrid in the first half had a bit of possession where they could have had a few goals, but then after that, it was just City.
One thing we can't hear is the Spanish commentators who sounded like they were paid by the word throughout the night, but we do have our commentary team of Dion Dublin and John Murray. I mean, it seems strange to say it because it's in front of no supporters, but a famous European night, John.
Oh, without question. You know, if you want to come of age as a team in European competitions, then beating Real Madrid is one of the ways to do it. And they'd never done that, Manchester City, and relatively, few meetings over the years, because for most of the time they've been operating in different worlds, really. So to win a competitive match against Real Madrid for the first time in the first leg, all those days ago, all those months ago, and to do it in the way that they did, coming from a goal down, and then to back it up by beating them again here with Real Madrid also, having finished the domestic season so strongly and pipping Barcelona for the title, winning the league for the first time for 3 years, and also against Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid as well, with the great touch that he's had as the coach of Real Madrid, just like he did as the player, the coach when they won it 3 years in a row. To beat this Real Madrid, to beat Zidane's Real Madrid, this is a big part of Manchester City's learning process in this competition, and has to give them even greater belief that they can win it this season.
Sean, yes, there were 2 defensive errors from Rafael Varane, which Manchester City profited from. But on both occasions, the first one where Jesus robs the ball and sets up Sterling, the second one when Jesus scores himself. City don't take advantage of that mistake if Gabriel Jesus does not work so hard to get even the fragment of an opportunity for them.
I agree with that, but that is Jesus. We've seen him do it time and time again, not always to score goals, but to assist them as well, and his work rate throughout the game deserved the assist and the goal. And the way he had the front three playing up the top in the first half was perfect, because they all chased, they all run back, they defended, and as you saw Foden, he always dropped a lot deeper than them to make the midfield a lot more compact. And in the second half, the game opened up a bit, and I noticed that the Real Madrid midfield wouldn't really follow their runners, so our boys were running off the back of them a lot of the time in the second half.
You know what, Sean? I think that this didn't look like a Real Madrid performance, a Real Madrid team. Hazard didn't really get a touch. Toni Kroos tried to get on the ball. Modric tried to affect the game. Rodrigo. It was kind of lackluster. Maybe City played that well that they made Real Madrid look that way, but it was such a poor performance from Madrid.
Yeah, for me, I can totally agree with you, but I don't think anybody goes and plays against Madrid the way City have to done today. I feel like anyone that plays against Madrid gives them the time and space that they want, but in a way, no disrespect to Real Madrid, Man City went and just said to them, look, we're just as good as you, so if you think we're going to let you have the ball for this long, you got another thing coming, and they just pressed at every chance they had. I felt like they set a lot of traps where one would go and the other one would go. And I don't think Real Madrid could deal with that, which was the strangest part for me, because with the quality of players that they have, you expect them to be able to beat the press a lot of the times, which they couldn't.
It has finished, by the way, in Turin. Juventus 2, Lyon 1, so that is 2-2 on aggregate. Lyon then go through to play Manchester City. Much more to come from Sean, from John and from Dion. We're going to break for the news on 5 Live with Nick Hatton.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Preston in Lancashire has become the latest area in the northwest of England to be subject to tougher coronavirus restrictions because of a rise in cases. From midnight tonight, people living in the city will no longer be allowed to visit each other's homes. The measures will be reviewed in a week. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon says she's furious that 8 Aberdeen footballers broke lockdown rules and visited a bar on Saturday night. They're all now self-isolating after 2 tested positive for COVID-19. Lockdown measures were reintroduced in the city on Wednesday. 101 cases have now been linked to the outbreak in the city. The Unite Union has refused to rule out industrial action at British Airways, which is cutting large numbers of cabin crew jobs to reduce costs in the wake of COVID-19. Staff were told by email today whether they'd be made redundant. The airline says it's critical for its survival. And the Home Office has confirmed that it's considering sending Royal Navy ships to police the Channel. It's one of a number of measures being looked at to deal with the number of migrants trying to cross from France in small boats.
5 Live Sports Extra.
International Test cricket continues. Balls. Oh, that's an edge. Caught behind. After tests against West Indies and one-dayers against Ireland, England are ready to take on Pakistan in 3 test matches.
Referee did knock on the pad. Big appeal for him, but it's given in. That is Broad's 500th wicket in Test cricket.
And you can hear every ball, every wicket and every boundary with the Test match special team. England versus Pakistan. The first test, live from Old Trafford, continues tomorrow at 10:15 on 5 Live Sports Extra.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome back to 5 Live Sport. What an evening for Manchester City. They've beaten Real Madrid 2-1 on the night and 4-2 on aggregate to book their place in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. They're off to the mini-tournament in Lisbon. We're going to have full commentary next Saturday night from 8 p.m. when they play Lyon for a place in the quarter-finals. Dion Dublin, John Murray and Sean Wright-Phillips are with us on 5 Live Sport. Dion, one of the things you said before the game is that Real Madrid should be prepared for Manchester City. It didn't look like they were, though.
No, I don't know why they didn't know what City were going to do. City always do it. They always play high intensity. They always play and wait for that bad pass so that they can set them traps. But Real played so slowly. They get away with it. As Righty said, they get away with it in their own league. In this league, City and Liverpool are the best at that high press. And they were so sloppy. And as I've said to you, Steve, I don't care who you are, if you're sloppy, when you have the ball at your feet, you take too many touches, you will get caught. It happens so many times for them.
Sean, I never thought that we would talk about atmosphere in a game with no fans, but you could hear the Manchester City coaching staff roaring when every good pass was made, when every tackle went in. You could tell how up for it. It felt like they'd been preparing for this night for months, not for days, not for weeks, for months.
I think with City, if you when you watch them play, they always attack it. They always approach a game to win, no matter who it is, where they are in the league. And like Dub said, how were Real Madrid not expecting Man City to come out like that? It's a big game for them. they're going to go and attack them and win. They don't play defensive football, and they just wasn't up to speed with everything that was going on. They were second to almost every ball. The defenders were trying to play out at times which they shouldn't be taking them gambles when somebody's coming at them at like 100 miles an hour. And as we all said, if you make mistakes against teams like this at stages like this, you will be punished, and they got punished twice for it.
I think, Steve, you say strange about the having the atmosphere inside the ground as well, which it was a little bit of a taster, wasn't it, of a reminder of what it's like when you do actually have a little bit of noise inside the ground, and not a moment too late either. But I think certainly the way that one set of staff and supporters, in inverted commas, reacted, I think also helped the others, and I think our Spanish commentary teams in front of us, I think, possibly helped the atmosphere as well inside the ground a little bit.
Yeah, they were superb. Really great to hear. Actually, it did add to the atmosphere, no doubt. But I'm pretty much certain that the players on the pitch could hear their teammates, the subs and the physios and the kit men. They were all around us. There must have been 40 of them. And every time that a City player got a block in, or he sprinted 20 yards and did something good, did something he was told to do, all these staff got up out the feet, and Mendy was leading it. He was clapping. It must be a great feeling for a player to know that everybody's pulling the same way.
And Sergio Ramos was doing his best as well from his seat and his waistcoat with his beard, but I'm afraid they missed him on the field.
Yeah, they did. His leadership was missed so much, and Righty, you'll know this. When you go over the white line, there's always a figurehead that you look to. There's always a captain that's in charge of everything. You looked in, what do we do now? And he wasn't there for Real. You could see it, Righty, couldn't you?
Yeah, you definitely could, especially when the first mistake happened. I don't think Varane knew what to do at the time, but luckily, before his second mistake, he kind of pulled himself back into the game. Until then, I think after his second one, he was done after that. I think he was officially finished.
He was a nervous wreck, wasn't he? Even Varane as well. They were so nervous at the back, and that made Courtois nervous because anything on his